Chapter 2479. Luck at its limit, great fortune arrives. Waterstop Celestial Lord returned after being away for a few days. According to him, all the Sea of Realms worlds in the area he oversees were fleeing. After seeing the Great World consecutively swallow several fifth-level worlds, they knew they were no match and fled quickly. No one wanted to collide with the Great World, which directly led to Waterstop Celestial Lord having nothing to do. During the days he was away, Lin Moyu and his two beloved wives continuously strived in the Great World, but unfortunately, the results were not as desired, and there was no further development. Lin Moyu could only sigh, saying that the time had not yet come. Returning to the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu once again devoted himself to the great fishing enterprise, while Waterstop Celestial Lord continued to guide the two women in cultivation. The cultivation methods of the origin continent differed slightly from those of the Great World. In this area, Waterstop Celestial Lord had the most authority to speak. Having an experienced teacher like him made Lin Moyu pleased. Moreover, with Waterstop Celestial Lord present, the safety of the two was also guaranteed. Days passed one by one, and Lin Moyu continuously harvested origin crystals. The Sea of Realms was boundlessly vast, and the immense power contained in its waters was equally limitless. Limitless power nurtured limitless Sea of Realms creatures. No matter how much Lin Moyu hunted and killed, he could never kill them all. Lin Moyu used a first-level origin as bait, attracting large numbers of strange fish, greatly increasing his hunting efficiency. According to the rules of the Sea of Realms, it was not allowed to use origin items to attract fish schools. However, the King of the Sea of Realms was the highest authority in the Sea of Realms, and he could decide whether something was permissible or not with a single word. Now that Lin Moyu was valued by the King of the Sea of Realms, as long as he didn't go too far, the king wouldn't interfere. As for Waterstop Celestial Lord, he turned a blind eye to it. Thus, Lin Moyu's speed of obtaining origin crystals doubled compared to before. Lin Moyu needed a total of 11 portions of materials to fuse 7th level origin, which was originally planned to take 2,200 Sea of Realms days. The Sea of Realms decree journey also allowed Lin Moyu to obtain several slightly higher level origin crystals. Adding to the greatly increased efficiency now, it only took 1,000 Sea of Realms days to complete the collection. 1,000 Sea of Realms days translated to over 27,000 years for the Great World. Over these many years, earth-shattering changes were also occurring in the Great World. Supreme beings were becoming more numerous, with people continuously breaking through to peak Supreme Being. Finally, 10,000 years ago, a new Celestial Lord appeared in the Great World. No one expected that the second Celestial Lord would be Little Mist. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised at all by this. Little Mist had the blessings of 2 Celestial Lords, and her cultivation path had been smooth sailing. If she hadn't been too playful and lazy to cultivate, she would have become a Celestial Lord much earlier. With Little Mist's breakthrough to the Celestial Lord realm, it was as if the path to Celestial Lord had been opened. In the recent 10,000 years, 3 more Celestial Lords appeared. 2 of these Celestial Lords came from Supreme Lord Hao and Supreme Lord Tian's families, while the other came from the War God Temple. Including Little Mist, in just 10,000 short years, 4 Celestial Lords had successively appeared in the Great World. This was enough to prove that the Great World had recovered to its ancient state. At this time, the Great World could accommodate 10 Celestial Lords. The newly promoted Celestial Lords didn't follow in Shi Dingtian's footsteps. They could be considered proper and respectful of their elders. Although they were now Celestial Lords, they were very respectful towards the older generation like Supreme Lord Hao. They had no objections to the human emperor managing the entire human race, and they themselves were willing to accept the human emperor's management. Although they were Celestial Lords, the privileges and resources they received were not that much. Under the human emperor's arrangement, the Celestial Lords would occasionally give lectures, cultivating more powerful beings for the human race of the Great World. They also didn't harbor any covetous thoughts towards the Great World's origin. Now in the Great World, everyone knew that behind the Great World, there was still a great god. A terrifying figure who appeared to be only a peak Supreme Being, yet could easily slaughter Celestial Lords. Lin Moyu had met the three of them once when he returned, frankly stating that he would eventually become the master of the great world. After he became the world's master, he could let them choose whether to continue staying in the great world or leave. However, it wasn't possible now. If they left now, it would cause harm to the great world. Although the harm might not be great, Lin Moyu wouldn't allow it. To this, the three didn't object, nor did they make a choice. Celestial lords had their own thoughts, and Lin Moyu wouldn't restrict their thinking. If they wanted to leave the great world in the future, Lin Moyu would fulfill their wishes. After a friendly exchange with the great world's origin, their mutual feelings increased a bit more, and then Lin Moyu left to find Little Mist. Whether as a supreme being or a celestial lord, Little Mist was, as always, directly hanging onto Lin Moyu.
Master!
Little Mist made a squeaky sound, still nuzzling Lin Moyu's cheek like a cat, not at all behaving like a celestial lord should. Not far away, Little Ox, who had reached the supreme being realm, turned away helplessly, not wanting to look. As Little Mist's mount, having such a silly master was really embarrassing for a cow. Lin Moyu patted Little Mist's head.
All right, I have important business with you this time.
Little Mist continued nuzzling.
No matter what it is, let Little Mist nuzzle comfortably first. Master hasn't been back for so long.
Has it been that long? Lin Moyu remembered he had just come back a dozen days ago. But thinking about it, it made sense. A dozen days in the Sea of Realms world was several hundred years in the Great World. Lin Moyu knew there was an unbreakable bond between himself and Little Mist. Little Mist was personally reincarnated by him from an artifact spirit to a human, creating a precedent. Her soul was fused with his aura. In the deepest part of Little Mist's soul, in her deepest subconscious, he was her closest person, surpassing even her old master. Since that was the case, he might as well let her nuzzle a bit longer. As Lin Moyu felt Little Mist's soft hair, he suddenly thought of the soul primal beast that called him father. He wondered where it had gone, whether the soul primal beast was a member of the demon race, and whether it lived somewhere on the origin continent. Originally, he had wanted to use the soul primal beast as his beacon to enter the Sea of Realms, but later found that the Sea of Realms was too vast for this beacon to be effective. He didn't know if he would see it again after he set foot on the origin continent. Perhaps when it grew up, it would realize that he wasn't really its father. Brushing aside these random thoughts, after Little Mist had nuzzled enough, Lin Moyu said,
Little Mist, help me with something.
Little Mist's eyes narrowed into crescents.
Sure, whatever you say, Master.
Lin Moyu said,
Use your luck rules to boost my luck to the extreme.
Little Mist nodded vigorously without thinking.
No problem.
Little Mist let out a heavy grunt, and a hazy, illusory rule world rose like a full moon behind her. Luck rules filled Little Mist's rule world. Among the celestial lords, Little Mist's power was the most mysterious. Luck rules were an illusory power, unfathomable, yet Little Mist could control it and affect the real world. Little Mist lightly pointed her finger at Lin Moyu and cried out,
Master, you're about to have great fortune.
In an instant, Lin Moyu felt an invisible force fall upon him, and the sound of a dragon's roar rang in his ears as a golden dragon rose from his body. Immediately after, Lin Moyu felt that the luck of the entire great world was stirred, and all the luck of this world came towards him. The golden dragon let out a clear roar, and Little Mist's luck technique directly pushed his luck to the extreme. But this wasn't enough. Lin Moyu actively used the luck burst technique, making his luck advance even further. Luck was an upgrade of fortune, but that didn't mean fortune was useless. The luck burst technique, combined with Little Mist's luck rules, pushed Lin Moyu even further. Lin Moyu felt as if he had broken through another level. The golden giant dragon burst forth with dazzling red light, changing from a golden dragon to a great red divine dragon, truly at the peak of fortune. At this moment, Lin Moyu vaguely touched upon the rules of cause and effect. Cause and effect, a step beyond luck. Where there's a cause, there's an effect. He felt that with just a thought, he could determine the effect without needing the cause. 2,480. Chapter 2480, The Law of Cause and Effect, Fusion of Origin. For the first time, Lin Moyu truly came into contact with the law of cause and effect. If one were to rank the levels of intangible powers, the law of cause and effect would undoubtedly be at the top. Whether in the Great World or the Origin continent, cause and effect have existed since the moment the world was born. The law of cause and effect is mysterious and unfathomable. Throughout history, almost no one has truly understood it. Its existence is even more elusive and difficult to grasp than the laws of time and space. At least with the law of time, one can find traces in the river of time, but the law of cause and effect is almost impossible to trace. Very few people in the river of time have come into contact with the law of cause and effect. Some have touched it, gained a superficial understanding, and even created treasures based on the law of cause and effect. In the Great World, someone once achieved this, which is why treasures like the cause and effect gourd exist. However, they only touched the surface. Otherwise, the Great World would not have nearly been destroyed. Lin Moyu didn't know this before. He tried to comprehend the law of cause and effect through the cause and effect gourd, only to find it impossible. The law of cause and effect within the gourd was too thin, almost negligible. Yet, even this tiny bit of the law of cause and effect made the cause and effect gourd a formidable treasure. This alone proves the immense power of the law of cause and effect. Now, Lin Moyu truly felt the law of cause and effect. Although it was just a superficial understanding, it far surpassed the cause and effect gourd. Lin Moyu even had the illusion that he could determine the effect without considering the cause. For example, he could determine that he would become the master of the Great World without needing to know the reason, the process, or why. Once the existence of the effect was determined, he would inevitably become the master of the Great World.
This ability is truly terrifying.
Deep in his soul, Lin Moyu felt a profound respect for the law of cause and effect. He imagined that if a Tao Lord mastered the law of cause and effect, facing an enemy, they would only need to determine the effect of the enemy's death. Then, without doing anything, the enemy would die when the time came. There would be no reason, no cause, only the effect. Of course, this ability requires a deep mastery of the law of cause and effect and the use of the power of the Great Way. It's uncertain whether such a Tao Lord exists on the Origin continent. A more realistic application, Lin Moyu thought, would be determining the effect during an attack. For example, determining that his attack would inevitably hit, making it impossible for the enemy to dodge no matter what. As long as he launched the attack, it would inevitably hit the enemy. Lin Moyu felt this application of the law of cause and effect was more realistic. He thought of Corpse Explosion, which seemed to have this characteristic. Once locked on, once the spell was activated, the opponent couldn't evade.
Could it be that Corpse Explosion is also related to the law of cause and effect?
Lin Moyu felt he might be overthinking it. The illusion brought by the law of cause and effect quickly faded, and in an instant, Lin Moyu lost that feeling.
Indeed, it was an illusion. I only touched the surface of the law of cause and effect. How could I comprehend it so quickly? But having experienced it once, there will be a second time. Perhaps there will be opportunities in the future.
Little Mist is truly a treasure. Lin Moyu couldn't help but marvel at Little Mist. He felt like he had found a treasure. Even the illusory Mist Celestial Lord probably didn't know that Little Mist could help him comprehend the law of cause and effect. Lin Moyu had already determined that the illusory Mist Celestial Lord had only touched the surface of the law of cause and effect back then. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left. His body was enveloped in red light, a dazzling red dragon coiling above his head, bringing him great fortune. In the world of rules, the 10-colored dragon soul crystal spewed dragon breath, transforming into a sea of fire to refine the origin. First level, second level, third level, and even fourth level origins were piled up like small mountains. Lin Moyu had prepared 11 portions of materials needed to fuse 7th level origins, including over 100,000 first-level origins alone. There were fewer second-level origins, but still over 10,000. Refining them was no small task. The flames of the 10-colored dragon soul crystal penetrated every corner, quickly refining the impurities in the origins, making them pure and turning them into crystal-clear origin crystals. Perhaps due to his great fortune, the refining speed of the 10-colored Dragon Soul crystal was not only fast but also more effective than usual. A person's luck affects all aspects of life. This intangible yet real force influences every detail, every moment. Lin Moyu was well aware of this, so from the start of refining the origin crystals, he pushed his luck to the extreme. After refining a large number of origins, Lin Moyu called out to Infinite Fusion,
"Stop sleeping. Get to work."
After devouring 2 spiritual materials, Infinite Fusion had long since recovered. However, this lazy creature had been sleeping ever since it recovered. Eating and sleeping were its true nature. Under Lin Moyu's call, Infinite Fusion lazily spread its mist, enveloping a large number of already refined origins, allowing them to fuse, while its main body didn't even bother to move. Lin Moyu was helpless, but as long as it could fuse, it was fine. After devouring 2 portions of spiritual materials, Infinite Fusion's power seemed to have increased, and its fusion speed was faster than before. In the mist, the origin crystals combined in sets of 3. 3 same-level origin crystals quickly fused into a higher-level origin crystal. First level became second level became third level. The fusion speed was fast, almost catching up with the refining speed of the 10-colored Dragon Soul crystal. The 10-colored Dragon Soul crystal was unwilling to be outdone, continuously spewing dragon breath to speed up the refining process. The 2 competed fiercely, neither willing to yield. Finally, all the origins were refined into origin crystals. At the same time, a large number of origin crystals completed their fusion, continuously increasing in level. Lin Moyu repeatedly used the luck burst technique, maintaining his state of great fortune with the red dragon above his head. Finally, all the origin crystals were fused into 6th-level origins. Over 100,000 origin crystals were ultimately fused into 36th-level origin crystals. Ordinary 6th-level origin crystals couldn't compare to premium-level origin crystals, let alone world-class origin crystals. But they were still valuable enough for celestial lords to fight over. If they reached the 7th level, even high-level celestial lords would fight to the death for them.
Hopefully my luck holds.
With a thought, Lin Moyu began to fuse the 7th-level origins. This time, Infinite Fusion couldn't sit still. Personally took action, transforming into an iron pot and swallowing 3 origin crystals. Covering the pot, it sounded like stir-frying. Lin Moyu looked at the iron pot and found it seemed more refined than before. The once rough and irregular iron pot now had some patterns on it. This change confirmed that Infinite Fusion had indeed become stronger. Lin Moyu's soul eyes sparkled.
Since it has become stronger, the success rate of fusion should also increase. With Little Mist's luck technique and my luck burst technique, maintaining great fortune, perhaps all 11 portions of origins can be successfully fused. Let's hope so. Keep it up.
This encouragement was not only for himself but also for Infinite Fusion. Infinite Fusion let out a low hum in response. No problem. Not only had it become stronger, but it also had more spirit. 2481 2481. Chapter 2481. Fusion of origins, sublimation of spells. The efforts were not in vain, and with great fortune, Infinite Fusion became stronger, perfectly refining the 10-colored Dragon Soul crystal. As a result, the success rate of fusing 7th-level origins was maximized. One by one, ordinary 7th-level origins were fused without any failures from start to finish. Infinite Fusion worked tirelessly for half a day, finally completing all the tasks Lin Moyu had assigned. It was clear that it had consumed a lot of energy, as its aura was much weaker than before. It circled around Lin Moyu, asking for a reward. Lin Moyu reached out and patted it, smiling.
You've worked hard, go rest now.
Only then did Infinite Fusion return to its domain, once again looking down on all spells from above.
What a magical little guy.
Lin Moyu chuckled softly, as the surprises and benefits brought by infinite fusion came one after another. During his cultivation journey, without this magical spell, it would have been difficult for him to reach his current level. With 11 7th-level origins in hand, his consciousness returned to reality.
Xiao Wu, it's done.
At this moment, Xiao Wu's pretty face was slightly pale. Gathering the fortune of the entire world for a long time was not an easy task for her. Hearing Lin Moyu's words, Xiao Wu immediately stopped and giggled.
Master, isn't Xiao Wu amazing?
Lin Moyu patted her head.
Xiao Wu has always been amazing.
Xiao Wu happily rubbed her head against Lin Moyu's hand.
Master is the most amazing.
The simple Xiao Wu followed Lin Moyu's words without question, never asking what Lin Moyu intended to do. She would do whatever Lin Moyu said, regardless of right or wrong. After playing with Xiao Wu for a while, Lin Moyu began to fuse the origins. In the world of rules, following Lin Moyu's will, one spell star after another lined up. Lin Moyu, like a general, reviewed his army. Undying Undead, Damage Transfer, Status Immunity, Physical Resistance, Elemental Resistance, Summon Dragon Knight Legion, Summon Elemental Lich, Bone Hell, Corpse Explosion, Undead Wings, Time Curse. A total of 11 spells, among which Undying Undead, Damage Transfer, and Bone Hell had already been upgraded to Origin level, but they had fused with 5th-level origins, not 7th-level origins. In Lin Moyu's initial plan, they were to fuse with 5th-level origins first to be usable in the Realm C. Subsequent events proved his idea correct. Now, what he needed to do was to fuse all the spells with 7th-level origins, laying a solid foundation for his ascension to Heavenly Sovereign.
Let's begin.
11 ordinary 7th-level origins flew into the spell stars. In an instant, the spell stars radiated brilliant light, and his world of rules roared and trembled, with waves of origin power sweeping out. Although they were just ordinary origins, they were still 7th-level origins, and the origin power contained within them was not weak. Especially now, with 11 7th-level origins blooming together, the power they unleashed was almost comparable to world-class origins.
It's a pity that infinite fusion cannot enhance the level of origins.
Lin Moyu suddenly had a whimsical thought but immediately dismissed it as daydreaming, too unrealistic. One by one, the spell stars shone brightly, enveloped in rich origin power, undergoing sublimation. Origin power continuously overflowed, spreading throughout the world of rules, which expanded under the influence of origin power. The legendary world of rules was vast from the beginning, like a real starry sky. As Lin Moyu grew stronger, the world of rules also expanded continuously. Now, the world of rules was many times larger than when it was first constructed. The world tree also absorbed origin power, becoming more lush. It grew with the world of rules, always occupying half of the world, no matter how large the world of rules became. The spiritual flowers on its branches entered the maturity stage again, with some already budding. The world fruits were also gradually maturing, and a peculiar fragrance began to spread in the world of rules. Spiritual flowers could nurture intelligence, and world fruits could grant people a world of rules. For Lin Moyu, the greatest use of spiritual flowers and world fruits was for the commanders of the Dragon Knight Legion. Once the commanders gained intelligence, the combat power of their respective legions would greatly increase. And once the commanders had a world of rules, they could store the Dragon Knight Legion in the world of rules and release them when needed, significantly enhancing their flexibility and overall capabilities. Without comparison, there is no harm. Among his 1,000 Dragon Knight legions, 50 commanders had intelligence and a world of rules. Their legion's combat power far surpassed other legions. With 50 intelligent commanders cooperating, their combat power could exceed that of 100 Dragon Knight legions without intelligence. If combined with the Battle Realm, granting the Dragon Knight Legion rapid recovery abilities, their combat power could be further enhanced. Lin Moyu mastered the method of refining the Battle Realm, but previously lacked the necessary materials. Now that the Great World had recovered, various materials were evolving and being born, solving the material problem. Once he became a heavenly sovereign, he could start refining the battle realm, further enhancing the combat power of the Dragon Knight Legion. The world of rules continued to grow stronger, and the world tree was also changing. The light of the spell stars grew stronger, and with a series of grand explosions, purple light entered the vision. Noble auras rose from the spell stars, and each spell star transformed into an origin-level spell, becoming more powerful and noble. They now possessed origin power, meaning they could function effectively even outside the Great World, on the Origin continent. Each spell underwent some changes after ascending to origin level. The cooldown time of Undying Undead increased from 60 seconds to 70 seconds, and the number of resurrections also increased to 7. The longer cooldown time and more resurrections made it hard to say whether the change was good or bad. However, with more resurrections, there was more room for maneuver. Damage transfer, damage reduction increased to 7-fold, further enhancing Lin Moyu's defense. Lin Moyu knew that it was almost impossible for someone of the same level to kill him. Not to mention the same level, even a low-level Heavenly Sovereign would find it difficult to kill him if he stood still. Physical resistance and elemental resistance underwent significant changes, completely immunizing all damage within the Great World and enhancing resistance to external damage. As for how much it was enhanced, Lin Moyu did not know, but it should not be too bad. The key was that with these two spells, Lin Moyu could declare himself invincible within the Great World. No attack in the Great World could harm him. The number of Summoned Dragon Knight Legion greatly increased, doubling from 10 billion to 20 billion, and the number of legions increased from 1,000 to 2,000. The combat power of the members did not change much, remaining the same as before. This change was similar to the changes in the Skeleton Generals. Summon Elemental Lich underwent some changes. After ascending to origin level, it required higher grade materials for summoning. Ordinary materials could no longer be used. Origin level materials were needed. The previously summoned liches were still usable, and they could also be sublimated using origin level materials. Lin Moyu realized that Summon Elemental Lich had always been limited, previously only using ordinary materials, but now it could use origin level materials. Origin level materials were not easy to find. It was not just about infusing some origin power into materials to make them origin level. They needed to naturally contain origin power to be considered origin level materials. The increased material requirements indicated that the spell had become stronger. Moreover, the upper limit of elemental liches increased from 10 to 20. After so many rounds of sublimation, the upper limit of elemental liches was finally increased. 2482 2482. Chapter 2482. Let's do it again. Skeleton Hell had previously fused with 5th level Origin, already adapting to the Origin continent. Now, fusing with 7th level Origin elevated Skeleton Hell to high level Supreme Being status. Every Hell Fiend inside reached the combat power of a high level Supreme Being. Its coverage expanded from a 500-kilometer radius to 1,000 kilometers, and the number of Hell Fiends increased from 5 million to 10 million. This was 1,000 kilometers on the Origin continent. If placed in the Great World, Lin Moyu didn't know how large it would be, at least hundreds of light years. This was the difference between the Origin continent and the Great World. Celestial lords who could act recklessly in the Great World would discover that many of their spells couldn't be used on the Origin continent. Compared to native celestial lords of the Origin continent, celestial lords from Sea of Realms worlds were much weaker and needed a long time to adapt. Waterstop Celestial Lord had said before that those celestial lords who left the Great World might not be living well, and might have even perished. Lin Moyu carefully examined each spell. Undead Wings had changed the least. Previously, it could invoke the space laws of the Great World to directly open space gates. But after arriving on the Origin continent, this function was lost. Now upgraded to Origin level, Undead Wings could invoke the Great Way of Space using it for rapid flight. The more soul power consumed, the faster the speed, still without an upper limit. However, it could no longer open space gates instantly spanning thousands of light years like in the Great World. After reviewing Undead Wings, only 2 spells remained. Lin Moyu turned his attention to Time Curse. This spell hadn't been used for a long time, mainly because other spells were too strong, greatly reducing its presence. However, during the upgrade, Lin Moyu hadn't forgotten about it. After advancing to Origin level, it could invoke the Great Way of Time, using time power as a blade to curse targets. It could not only directly attack the soul but also make targets fall into a state of time confusion. It combined both attack and curse functions, though its effectiveness remained to be seen. Finally, Lin Moyu examined Corpse Explosion, this extremely powerful, even outrageous spell. Corpse Explosion, Origin level, detonate corpses or remains, dealing damage equal to 100% of the target's life force when alive to locked-on targets. Can attack multiple targets simultaneously. The more targets, the weaker the damage becomes as it's divided. The attack ignores all obstacles and time boundaries. Can control the detonation time, with a maximum duration of 1 year. The spell hadn't changed much, only adding the ability to control the detonation time. Lin Moyu drew a sharp breath, exclaiming,
"Isn't this the law of cause and effect?"
Controlling the detonation time was equivalent to planting a result, which would explode at some point within the next year. However, it still hadn't completely broken free from the cause, which was the corpse. But at least it had touched upon the law of cause and effect. Time, space, life and death, cause and effect, chaos. Lin Moyu felt that among his spells, there were too many abnormal ones. Corpse Explosion, Resurrect the Dead, Infinite Fusion, and Skeleton Hell. Which of these had ever been normal?
Abnormal is fine. I was never normal to begin with.
Lin Moyu felt somewhat smug as he looked at the spell stars in his rule world. Purple light enveloped them, with origin power spreading freely through the rule world, giving rise to a sense of achievement. He knew that even on the origin continent, not many could upgrade all their spells to origin level. Moreover, he had fused 7th level origin. Even if it was only ordinary grade, it was still 7th level origin. Such a grand gesture was something only top geniuses from major forces could achieve. But they relied on their entire force, on the legacy of their elders. In terms of foundation, he couldn't be compared to them at all. But so what? Elders' legacies could provide for a time, but not forever. Lin Moyu was confident that even those geniuses of the origin continent would eventually only see his back. Except for Infinite Fusion, all spells had fused with ordinary 7th level origin, becoming origin level spells. Lin Moyu knew his foundation was now extremely solid. The next step was to advance to Celestial Lord. He had advanced to Supreme Being through the Great World's origin, with the power of the Great World's origin engraved in the depths of his soul. Unless he wanted to cut ties with the Great World now, this couldn't be changed. So his advancement to Celestial Lord would still require the Great World's origin. Lin Moyu knew clearly in his heart that as long as he wanted to advance to Celestial Lord, the Great World's origin would inevitably provide enough origin power for him. However, Lin Moyu didn't want to do it this way. He wanted to advance together with the Great World, just like before, with the Great World nourishing him as it improved. This could greatly increase his intimacy with the Great World. He would become a Celestial Lord and the world's master simultaneously, fusing the Great World with himself. This was his plan. Part of it was his own idea, and part was determined after consulting with the King of the Sea of Realms. Lin Moyu sensed his rule world, murmuring to himself,
"With the World Tree, all spells have reached origin level, and the origin power is strong enough. My current rule world meets the standards, but some preparations are still needed."
Lin Moyu's mind stirred, and the layout of his rule world immediately changed. This was his world. Whatever he wanted, a single thought was enough. The entire rule world was divided into 3 layers, each evenly distributed. The bottom layer was the area belonging to Skeleton Hell. Although the rule world was now very large, Skeleton Hell only covered less than 1/10,000th of the area. However, Lin Moyu still reserved a large space for it. The second layer, also the core area of the rule world, was where Lin Moyu was located with all the spell stars here. The third layer, the top area, originally had many stars. Now Lin Moyu moved them all, concentrating them in the middle area, completely emptying the top area. Only the world tree spanned the entire rule world, its presence visible from bottom to top. Lin Moyu spent several days completing the rearrangement of his rule world. After the transformation, Lin Moyu saw Little Mist playing nearby. Little Ox stood some distance away, its eyes showing a hint of fear, seemingly afraid to come closer. Lin Moyu sensed Little Ox's unusual behavior.
Little Ox, what's wrong?
Little Ox mumbled.
Master, your aura just now was a bit scary.
Lin Moyu smiled.
How was it scary?
Little Ox shook its head.
Master, the origin power on you just now was terrifyingly dense. Little Ox feels that even those celestial lords couldn't match 1/10,000th of it.
Lin Moyu roughly understood Little Ox's meaning. When his spells were upgrading earlier, 11 7th level origins exerted their power together, naturally emitting incredibly powerful origin power. Little Ox was only a low-level supreme being, so being frightened was normal. Little Mist glanced at Little Ox.
You're so old, yet still such a coward. How pathetic.
Little Mist clearly wasn't scared by Lin Moyu's origin power. Not afraid at all. She was always happy as long as she was by Lin Moyu's side. Lin Moyu's aura was all beautiful to her. Lin Moyu patted Little Mist's head.
How's Little Mist's recovery? We need to do it again.
Little Mist nodded vigorously.
I've long since recovered.
The rule world rose, and Little Mist's melodious voice rang out.
Master, you're about to have great fortune.
2483 2483. Chapter 2483. Finally reaching the growth period. Brilliant scarlet light illuminated the starry sky, and a vibrant red divine dragon flew out from Lin Moyu's body, circling in the air. Lin Moyu once again had great fortune, with all the luck of the great world concentrated on him. Carrying this incredible luck, Lin Moyu stepped into the world of the great world's origin. He took out a world gem. As soon as the world gem appeared, the previously quiet great world's origin immediately became active. At this moment, the great world's instinctive consciousness was extremely excited, wanting this world gem. The great world's instinctive consciousness had no wisdom, only knowing what was beneficial to it. Like a newborn baby, not knowing good from bad or right from wrong. Only knowing that when it smells milk, it's hungry and wants to eat. It had no idea that after absorbing the world gem and advancing to the 7th level, it could possibly be harvested. At that time, the world would be destroyed, and it would also be refined. Lin Moyu spat out a mouthful of essence blood, which contained his power, laws, and soul. At this moment, Lin Moyu's mark was imprinted on the world gem. Then he tossed the world gem to the great world's origin, which immediately began to absorb it as if it had obtained a great treasure. The world gem was miraculous, possessing a mysterious power that could directly elevate Sea of Realms worlds. It wasn't ordinary origin power. Cultivators couldn't use it for cultivation or to fuse spells. However, for Sea of Realms worlds, this was a supreme treasure. The mysterious power within the world gem caused the great world's origin to continuously improve, becoming stronger and stronger. The rate of improvement was faster and more intense than absorbing 5th level world origin. As the great world's origin improved itself, it also continuously provided large amounts of origin power back to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't need to cultivate much. His realm rose steadily as if riding a battleship. With his foundation, he could have advanced to Celestial Lord long ago. But for the sake of his plan, to allow himself to go further, Lin Moyu had always been holding himself back. Now he could finally stop suppressing himself and fully absorb the origin power. With great fortune, all the origin power provided by the great world was absorbed without any waste. His soul was filled with the great world's origin power, which also spread throughout his entire rule world. Soon, even the rule world was filled with the great world's origin power. Lin Moyu placed all the diffused great world origin power at the top layer of his rule world. Quickly, the top area of the rule world was filled with the great world's origin power, making it almost indistinguishable from being in the great world itself. The entire rule world became more clearly divided. Hell at the bottom, Lin Moyu's spells and soul in the middle, and the great world's origin at the top. The effect of the world gem was truly excellent. As the great world grew stronger, the origin power it provided in return also increased. Lin Moyu's soul finally broke through its limits. Within the purple soul, a ball of origin fire was completely ignited, then rapidly spread throughout the entire soul like a wildfire. The soul seemed to undergo a refinement, with the purple light becoming jade-like, more substantial and no longer ethereal. At this time, the 10-colored dragon soul crystal also spewed dragon breath, making the soul even purer. A noble aura emanated from the soul. The purple soul was like jade, outwardly solid but inwardly ethereal, combining both substance and emptiness, achieving the state of a celestial lord soul. The soul advanced to the celestial lord realm one step ahead of the physical body. But the physical body followed closely behind. The undying golden body ignited with flames, integrating countless origin power into the flesh. The physical body grew stronger and stronger, a profound strength coming from the deepest parts of the flesh. Lin Moyu felt that his life level was changing, a change in quality. The undying golden body shone brilliantly, with the once golden light points now covering every corner of his body. With a light sound, the shackles of the physical body were shattered, and the flesh also stepped into the celestial lord realm along with the soul. At the celestial lord level, although the undying golden body was not yet able to regenerate from a drop of blood, any damage could be recovered in the blink of an eye. Even severed hands and feet could be regenerated instantly. As long as the body wasn't completely obliterated, it could regenerate in a short time without relying on the new life talent. With both soul and body successfully entering the celestial lord realm, next came the cultivation level. Lin Moyu's foundation was too solid. There were no obstacles in his cultivation level advancement. Merely half a minute after his soul and body completed their advancement, his cultivation level also successfully broke through. Lin Moyu officially stepped into the celestial lord realm, with soul, body, and cultivation all advancing together. The moment he stepped into the celestial lord realm, his connection with the great world's origin became even closer. The great world's origin spewed out more origin power, further increasing their intimacy. Lin Moyu's own rule world expanded by more than tenfold almost instantly. Originally, the rule world was already astonishingly large. The legendary level rule world, even when Lin Moyu was still at the Supreme Being realm, had already surpassed that of celestial lords. Now the rule world became even larger. Lin Moyu felt that his rule world, purely in terms of scale, had already surpassed all celestial lords. Even in terms of strength, it wouldn't be weaker than any celestial lords. The legendary level rule world truly showed its potential only after he reached the celestial lord realm. The level of the rule world is very important for supreme beings, but even more crucial for celestial lords. Often, the larger the rule world, the stronger the celestial lord's power. A large amount of origin power filled the rule world, providing strong support for Lin Moyu. The world tree grew rapidly along with the rule world, with a peculiar fragrance spreading throughout the rule world, detectable even in hell. Numerous spirit flowers bloomed, and world fruits ripened on the spot. The leaves were lush and green, becoming even more powerful refining materials. Lin Moyu had a feeling that the world tree's leaves had become materials suitable for the celestial lord realm. Celestial lord level refining materials had considerable value even on the origin continent. And here he had an almost endless supply. Lin Moyu felt like he had become nouveau riche, but at the same time he was also very vigilant. The world tree was so miraculous and powerful. This must not be known by others. If Tao lords found out about it, they would likely come to seize it directly. A thought suddenly occurred to Lin Moyu.
I wonder how large a Tao lord's rule world is.
From what he knew, Tao lords also had rule worlds, but they were different from celestial lords' rule worlds, seemingly on another level entirely. Perhaps he would know in the future, but for now he had only heard about it. Advancing to celestial lord, several spells were strengthened again, but not many became significantly more powerful. Lin Moyu understood that to further enhance his spells, besides his own realm, he would need even more powerful origin. The Skeleton King evolved from low-level Celestial Lord to mid-level Celestial Lord, with their number increasing from 500 to 1,000. The number of Skeleton Divine Generals and Dragon Riders increased from 20 billion to 30 billion. Both Skeleton Divine Generals and Dragon Riders reached the low-level Celestial Lord realm. The captains of the Dragon Rider legions reached mid-level Celestial Lord, as did the legion commanders. The number of Dragon Rider legions also increased to 3,000. It might seem that the enhancement of spells had weakened, but this was not the case. The gap between Celestial Lords is vast. Although they are similarly divided into low, middle, and high levels, the difference between each level is beyond imagination. Lin Moyu's ability to still maintain the power to fight above his level at the Celestial Lord stage was already incredibly powerful. If fighting with all his might, Lin Moyu was confident that he could directly confront high-level Celestial Lords relying on his spells. Lin Moyu turned his attention to the World Tree, his eyes lighting up.
Finally reaching the growth period.
2484, 2484. Chapter 2484. The True Use of the Realm's Sea World. The World Tree also underwent dramatic changes. New branches sprouted, spiritual flowers bloomed, and world fruits matured one after another. The roots grew thicker and stronger, penetrating some unknown void and continuously absorbing immense power. The World Tree supplied this power to itself, while also storing some of it, converting it into soul power to serve as Lin Moyu's backup strength. Golden light flowed over the trunk, and the World Tree exuded a peculiar origin power. This origin power came from the World Tree itself and the divine power in the divine cauldron. The divine power acted like fertilizer, providing crucial support for the growth of the World Tree. Lin Moyu sensed the joy of the World Tree, and simple streams of consciousness flowed over, calling him.
Father!
Startled, he then showed a strange smile. Great, now he had another child. After the soul spirit ancestor beast, another one called him father. He didn't even have his own flesh and blood yet, but now he had 2 children. What was this all about? Lin Moyu gently raised his hand and placed it on the World Tree, feeling the closeness it conveyed, while also seeing the information about the World Tree. After entering the growth phase, the World Tree's abilities underwent significant changes. World Tree, Growth Phase. Ability 1, Rebirth asterisk. When receiving fatal damage, it will be reborn, instantly returning to peak state, and all spells will reset their cooldowns. This can be triggered 6 times within 20 seconds, and the cooldown for this ability resets after 20 seconds. Ability 2, Fruit asterisk. The World Tree will bear world fruits. Consuming a world fruit can give birth to a rule world. Consumption requirement. Other Shore Realm. Ability 3, Spiritual Flower asterisk. Mature spiritual flowers can heal any injury. If used by a member of the Undead Legion, it can grant them intelligence. Ability 4, Leaves asterisk. The leaves of the World Tree are excellent materials for refining tools and pills. Ability 5, Sap asterisk. The sap of the World Tree can enhance the fusion with the Great Tao Laws, accelerating cultivation speed. Long-term consumption can enhance cultivation talent. Daily production, 1,000 drops. The World Tree, upon entering the growth phase, underwent significant changes. Its previous abilities to amplify spells and connect the vitality of all Undead Legion members disappeared. However, Lin Moyu had already found these 2 abilities somewhat redundant. Especially after entering the Realm Sea, these 2 abilities were clearly suppressed. The spell amplification became less noticeable, and the connection ability was useless against weak attacks. Against extremely strong attacks, this ability also had no effect, as the Undead Legion members would be instantly killed. Therefore, these 2 abilities were dispensable. Upon entering the growth phase, the World Tree transformed, discarding these 2 abilities. The most important rebirth ability was retained and significantly enhanced. The same 20 seconds, but now it had 6 rebirth opportunities instead of 3. Being able to revive 6 times in 20 seconds filled Lin Moyu with a sense of security, making him feel that it would be difficult for anyone to kill him.
I can just stand here and let you kill me. You kill me once, I revive once. If you can't kill me 7 times in 20 seconds, we start over.
The fruit and spiritual flower abilities were also retained and strengthened. The fruit now had no chance of failure. As long as someone in the other shore realm consumed it, they could directly evolve a rule world, skipping even the embryonic stage. Having a rule world in the other shore realm meant a clear path to becoming a saint sovereign. Of course, those with strong talent in the other shore realm might disdain using it. For Lin Moyu, the rule worlds of the Dragon Knight Legion commanders were now secure. The spiritual flowers, besides nurturing intelligence, also gained a new function: healing. They could heal any injury, not just physical but also spiritual. As long as the person was alive, even if their soul was incomplete, it could be healed. This was even more powerful than the undying rule. Lin Moyu felt that it must involve some kind of great Tao, though he didn't know which one. The leaf ability remained unchanged, still the same as before. The growth phase of the world tree added a new ability, sap. The sap could enhance the fusion with the great Tao, accelerating cultivation speed. Most importantly, long-term consumption could change cultivation talent, essentially altering one's fate. Enhancing the fusion with the great Tao referred to the origin continent. Only in the origin continent did one need to enhance the ability to comprehend the great Tao laws. In the great world, this was unnecessary. Even if Lin Moyu became the master of the great world and obtained all its authority, he couldn't change someone's talent on the origin continent. At most, he could make someone a genius in the great world, but if their aptitude was poor, they would revert to their original state once they left the great world. This was the case with Yuju and Yuchingru. Their cultivation talents were good but not top-notch. Normally, reaching the heavenly sovereign realm on the origin continent would be their limit. Becoming a Tao sovereign would be impossible. But with the world tree sap, things might be different. The same applied to Ningyi and others who were in deep sleep, whose cultivation talents were even worse, making it difficult to reach the super god realm. Lin Moyu didn't know if this was a natural ability that appeared during the world tree's evolution, or if it was specifically evolved for him. In any case, it solved all his worries. Lin Moyu conveyed his will to the world tree.
Thank you.
The world tree gently swayed, its branches lightly caressing Lin Moyu, expressing affection. The current world tree was unimaginably large, spanning the entire rule world. This was just the beginning of its growth phase. It still had much growing to do. Achieving the heavenly sovereign realm, after observing all the changes in his spells and waiting for the rule world to stabilize completely, Lin Moyu once again focused on the origin of the great world. The origin of the great world was stronger than ever, as if the entire great world was celebrating its strength. However, now was not the time to elevate to the 7th tier because he had not yet become the master of the world. Lin Moyu felt that his connection with the great world was already extremely close, and becoming the master of the world was not difficult. After a series of changes, he no longer cared for an ordinary world master. He also didn't want to harvest the world after it reached the 7th tier. From the words of the king of the realm sea, he learned that harvesting the world at the 7th tier was the worst approach. What he needed to do now was the best approach, integrating the realm sea world into his rule world. This way, he could naturally become the master of the realm sea world. At the same time, everything in the realm sea world would belong to him. His rule world would also become stronger and more vibrant as a result. He still remembered the original words of the king of the realm sea. The king had spoken with a hint of contempt.
Those guys know nothing. Cultivating the world to the 7th tier and then harvesting it is simply wasteful. The origin world is not meant to be used that way. Why is it called the origin world? Those idiots have no brains.
Lin Moyu deeply imprinted these words in his mind, repeatedly understanding them, and came to his own conclusion. As the root of the realm sea world, the origin world was not that simple. He approached the origin of the great world, not to communicate or enhance feelings, but to fuse. Lin Moyu's rule world fully unfolded for the first time, enveloping the origin of the great world with immense power.
Fusion.
2485 Chapter 2485 Fusion of Worlds, a win-win situation. The rule world unfolded, and Lin Moyu prepared a prime location to integrate the great world's origin within it. Once the great world's origin entered, the entire great world would follow. Previously, in the rule world, it was already filled with the great world's origin, so the great world's origin entering it would not cause any discomfort. Lin Moyu was well aware that the intimacy between himself and the great world's origin was already very high, and his actions would not trigger any instinctive rejection from the great world's origin. Indeed, Lin Moyu slowly guided the great world's origin into his rule world. The entire process was like coaxing a child. Lin Moyu, like a bad uncle with candy, gently coaxed the great world's origin bit by bit into his rule world. Lin Moyu's actions were very gentle, and with the intimate relationship between himself and the great world, he smoothly guided the great world's origin into his rule world. As the great world's origin entered the rule world, the entire great world began to resonate intensely. The origin is the core of a world. Where the origin goes, the world follows. The entire world began to follow the origin, entering Lin Moyu's rule world.
Now is the time.
Lin Moyu's heart stirred. The moment he would become the world's master was now. At the moment the great world fully entered his rule world, he began to refine the great world's origin to become the world's master. Lin Moyu knew he had long been qualified to become the world's master. This process would not pose any problems. Previously, he had left his essence blood in the world gem, which contained his soul imprint. When the great world's origin absorbed the world gem, his soul imprint naturally remained within the origin. In fact, at that time, Lin Moyu had already become half the master of the great world. With internal and external integration, the great world's origin was refined at an astonishing speed. In just a few minutes, Lin Moyu completed a magnificent transformation, becoming the master of the great world. At this moment, the great world was rapidly integrating into his rule world. The fusion of the two worlds triggered numerous phenomena. Both worlds resonated and trembled, with space within the entire world undulating like ocean waves. Fortunately, the undulations were very gentle, causing no casualties. On the stars within the great world, everyone could feel the space twisting and undulating. The higher the cultivation, the clearer the sensation. Countless Saint Lords came to the starry sky, seeing rivers of laws manifesting before their eyes. Countless rivers of laws materialized, intertwining in the deepest part of the starry sky. They wanted to approach but found the starry sky locked, unable to get close. Supreme beings saw even more. They saw the intersection of reality and illusion, with each river of laws containing both aspects. At this moment, it was like a celestial realm for them, and many supreme beings began to comprehend the power of reality and illusion. The three celestial lords, excluding Little Mist, saw the great world's origin. They discovered that the great world's origin had a master. They also saw Lin Moyu standing before the great world's origin, exuding an awe-inspiring aura. Though they were all celestial lords, the three felt like ants before Lin Moyu.
Lin's celestial lord is indeed powerful. Although we are in the same realm, I feel he could kill us with just a glance. Maybe not just a glance, but it wouldn't be difficult. Is this the difference between the Sea of Realms and the Great World? If we went to the Sea of Realms, would we also be weak?
Since the incident with Shi Dingtian, Lin Moyu had changed the great world, making it impossible for anyone to leave. Although the three knew of the Sea of Realms, they had never been there. Lin Moyu had once spoken to them about the Sea of Realms and the Origin Continent, also mentioning that he would give them a choice. So the three were not in a hurry, but as celestial lords with extraordinary talent, they naturally yearned for a stronger world. Now that Lin Moyu had become a celestial lord and the great world had a master, they knew the time for them to make a choice was near. Lin Moyu was extremely focused and busy at this moment. The fusion of two worlds was no small matter, and many structures had to change. The stars within the great world entered the rule world that Lin Moyu had long prepared. Under Lin Moyu's precise control, the positions of galaxies and the arrangement of stars remained unchanged. In the rule world, Lin Moyu was the absolute god. Any task could be completed with just a thought. The entire fusion process was very smooth, with few knowing about it except for some phenomena. Most people didn't even know that beyond the Great World, there was the Sea of Realms and the Origin Continent. They would never leave this world in their lifetime, perhaps not even their own galaxy. The world tree intertwined, completely enveloping the Great World and forming a boundary. The area covered by the world tree was about 3 million light-years. Though smaller than before, it was sufficient. From now on, without Lin Moyu's permission, the Great World's range would remain this size, and no one inside could leave. This way, there would be no more incidents of celestial lords leaving the Great World and taking the Origin with them. The current Great World was no longer an independent world. It belonged to Lin Moyu and was part of his rule world. The Great World's Origin emitted a beautiful, dreamlike light, coming into Lin Moyu's hands. Lin Moyu did not strip the Great World's Origin, nor did he refine or destroy it. On the contrary, Lin Moyu would use world gems in the future to elevate the Great World's Origin. Other celestial lords harvested Sea of Realms worlds to refine the Origin, absorbing and integrating it to achieve Tao Lord status. But Lin Moyu's method was more advanced, integrating the Sea of Realms world into his rule world, obtaining the Origin while preserving the Sea of Realms world. Most importantly, he could continuously elevate the Sea of Realms world's Origin, using its power to become a Tao Lord or even stronger. According to the King of the Sea of Realms, this was the proper way to utilize the Origin world, not the barbaric harvesting method. Originally, it could have been a win-win situation, but they chose to monopolize it, resulting in the smallest gains. Lin Moyu became the master of the Great World and integrated it into his rule world, becoming its true owner.
Finally, it's all done.
Lin Moyu let out a long sigh of relief. It had been a challenging journey.
What a beautiful ball.
Little Mist's eyes widened, staring at the Great World's Origin in Lin Moyu's hand. Lin Moyu smiled.
Don't you recognize it?
Little Mist frowned, trying to recall.
It seems familiar.
Little Mist had a big heart, even forgetting the Great World's Origin. Not far away, Little Ox suddenly exclaimed,
Isn't that the Great World's Origin? I saw it when I crossed the Divine Path.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Good memory.
Little Mist finally realized.
Master, you became the master of the Great World?
Lin Moyu nodded slightly. Little Mist exclaimed,
So, does that mean I'm now siblings with the Great World?
To consider herself siblings with the Great World, Lin Moyu's mouth twitched at her unique thought process. Not only Lin Moyu, but even Little Ox turned its head away, pretending not to know her. Lin Moyu said,
I'll go inform the human emperor. Thank you, Little Mist.
Little Mist clung to Lin Moyu again.
I'll go with you.
2486. Chapter 2486. If you want to leave, I won't stop you. In the central divine temple of Divine City, the human emperor, Star Elder, Supreme Lord Hao, and others, along with the 3 celestial lords, were gathered together. The seat at the head was empty, belonging to Lin Moyu. Below it were the seats of the human emperor, Star Elder, Supreme Lord Hao, and others. The 3 celestial lords' seats were even further back. Apart from Lin Moyu's seat at the head, the other seats were not arranged according to cultivation level. Everyone present was waiting for Lin Moyu, knowing he would come. Sure enough, after the Great World had completely calmed down, Lin Moyu arrived with Little Mist. Seeing Lin Moyu, everyone instinctively stood up, their faces showing surprise. The aura emanating from Lin Moyu was not just that of a celestial lord, but also had another peculiar quality. When everyone looked at Lin Moyu, they all had a feeling that they were Lin Moyu's subordinates. They knew this was because Lin Moyu had become the world's master, and they were living beings in this world. The surprise lasted only a moment before everyone quickly reacted, bowing to Lin Moyu in unison.
Greetings, World Master.
At this moment, they were extremely respectful towards Lin Moyu. Subconsciously, the living beings of the Great World naturally felt respect when seeing the world's master. Lin Moyu smiled.
There's no need for such formality. I'm still me, please be at ease.
Saying this, Lin Moyu put down Little Mist who was hanging on him, then walked to his seat and said to everyone,
You should all know by now that I have become the world's master. However, there are some things I need to tell you. My position as world master is somewhat different from other Sea of Realms world masters.
The others were slightly surprised. The human emperor said,
Please elaborate, world master.
Lin Moyu pointed his finger, and an image appeared in the void, showing a boundless ocean. Dark clouds covered the sky and earth. The sea surface was dim, and huge waves continuously rose and fell with thunderous sounds. Among those present, many had seen the Sea of Realms before and weren't surprised. Under Lin Moyu's manipulation, worlds appeared in the projection, approaching each other in the waves, colliding, fighting until one side was destroyed and devoured. The victor became stronger, while the loser lost everything. Lin Moyu said,
Our world is called the Sea of Realms world, drifting in the Sea of Realms, engaging in world battles with other Sea of Realms worlds.
World battles? They all knew that worlds would collide and fight with each other. But this was the first time they had heard of world battles. Only the human emperor knew a bit more, as Lin Moyu would always find him when he returned, revealing some information during their conversations. Lin Moyu continued,
The purpose of world battles is for celestial lords of the origin continent to cultivate world-class origin crystals for themselves. When the Sea of Realms worlds grow to a certain extent, they will harvest them.
The human emperor asked,
What about the living beings in the Sea of Realms worlds?
Lin Moyu replied,
Generally, they either destroy the world or exile them to the Sea of Realms to fend for themselves.
Everyone's expressions changed drastically. It was so cruel. Sea of Realms worlds were just stepping stones for celestial lords of the origin continent to advance further. Lin Moyu continued amidst their disbelief.
But I didn't choose to do this. I integrated the great world into my rule world.
This statement once again shocked everyone. They all had rule worlds and knew what they were about. Sea of Realms worlds could be destroyed, but one's own rule world absolutely could not be destroyed. Whether for Saint Lords, Supreme Beings, or Celestial Lords, the rule world was everything. If the rule world was destroyed, at best one's cultivation would be completely wasted. At worst one would die and their Tao would be extinguished. Lin Moyu integrating the Sea of Realms world into his rule world also meant that Lin Moyu would not destroy the world. However, it also told them that Lin Moyu now had absolute control over this world. Whether it was the life and death of the great world or their own lives and deaths, it was all in Lin Moyu's hands. As cultivators, especially those at their level, knowing that their lives were controlled by someone else was a very uncomfortable feeling. It could even make their Tao hearts uneasy and greatly reduce their cultivation. Only someone like Little Mist, who was carefree, wouldn't care about these things. The human emperor and supreme lord Hao and others found it easier to accept. The three newly promoted celestial lords had strange expressions on their faces. Lin Moyu saw this and smiled.
To be honest, I do need to control this world because I have my own things I want to do. Please understand. Next, I'll talk about my thoughts.
Everyone knew that if Lin Moyu really wanted to do something, they had no way to resist. Moreover, from what they knew of Lin Moyu, he had deep feelings for the human race and would never do anything excessive. In the past, Lin Moyu had sacrificed a lot to save the human race. Lin Moyu continued,
In a while, I will go to the origin continent. At that time, I will give everyone an opportunity. As long as you reach the Supreme Being realm, you can go to the origin continent.
Upon hearing this, everyone's eyes lit up, especially the three celestial lords who knew about the Sea of Realms and the origin continent. The origin continent was rich in resources and full of powerful beings. It was a place every cultivator dreamed of going. Lin Moyu observed everyone's reactions and then changed his tone.
Of course, once you enter the origin continent, you will also sever your connection with the great world and cannot return.
Lin Moyu laid out the harsh truth up front. You can choose to go to the origin continent, I won't stop you. And you don't need to be a celestial lord, just reaching Supreme Being is enough to go. There are many Supreme Beings on the origin continent, and even countless ordinary people. Supreme beings can survive there. But once you go to the origin continent, you will have no more connection with the great world. This is a one-way path, it cannot be reversed. Lin Moyu gave them the right to choose their own path, to make a free choice.
The origin continent is not safe. The conflicts there far exceed those in the great world. Even celestial lords can perish if they're not careful. I don't fully understand the specific situation, but I will give all the information I know to the human emperor, and you can check it yourselves. For those entering the origin continent from Sea of Realms worlds like ours, there are many inconveniences. First, many spells cannot be used. You need to fuse with the origin continent to adapt to its Great Way laws. For this, I will prepare some origin crystals for those going to the origin continent, as a token of my goodwill.
Lin Moyu had thought about this early on. He would prepare a batch of ordinary first-level origin crystals. Those who wanted to go to the origin continent could obtain them and fuse them into their spells. Although ordinary first-level origin wasn't very good, it would at least allow their spells to function. Otherwise, a celestial lord who couldn't use spells probably couldn't even defeat a supreme being on the origin continent. As for the origin these celestial lords would take away, Lin Moyu was generous and wouldn't take it back. Now the great world's origin was very strong, and a small loss like this was nothing. Lin Moyu had ways to make it up. After this conversation, everyone was convinced by Lin Moyu. In their view, Lin Moyu had done the best he could as the world's master. Even if they were in his position, they couldn't have done better. Afterwards, Lin Moyu gave all the information he knew about the Sea of Realms and the origin continent to the human emperor. The human emperor said in a low voice,
"World Master, aren't you being too kind in doing this?"
After fusing with the technological artifact, the human emperor's rationality far exceeded his emotions. Analyzing from a data perspective, he felt that Lin Moyu's actions were too kind and didn't meet the standard of maximizing benefits. Lin Moyu was unconcerned.
"No matter where you are, as long as your fist is big and hard enough, everything else is trivial."
2487 2487 Chapter 2487 Meeting the Elder in the Green Robe Again. Beside the World Tree, the coffin of slumber had been quietly resting here for many years. The soul and the World Tree together firmly guarded it. No matter the storms outside, it remained unmoved. As long as Lin Moyu did not die, the coffin of slumber would not be harmed. Lin Moyu's gaze was lowered, his eyes filled with uncontrollable excitement, and even his body trembled slightly. At this moment, Lin Moyu's emotions were not calm. Today, he was going to open the coffin. After many years, he was going to reunite with his wives. But for some reason, he felt a bit worried. So many years had passed, and he did not know what the situation inside the coffin of slumber was. He did not doubt Anteri's words, but for some reason, he felt a vague unease in his heart. Yuqingru and Yuju stood beside Lin Moyu, sharing his emotions at this moment. Yuqingru comforted him.
"Don't worry, the sisters will be fine."
Yuju also softly said,
"Actually, we should be the ones worried, not knowing if the sisters can accept us."
Yuqingru chuckled.
"Don't worry, husband said the sisters are all understanding and broad-minded."
Yuju nodded.
Yes, there will be no problem."
Their words managed to ease Lin Moyu's unease. Gently stroking the coffin of slumber, although he could not see inside, he could feel the presence of his 4 wives.
Qian, Yuner Honor, we are about to meet."
A wisp of soul power flowed out, merging into the coffin of slumber. Immediately, lines of patterns lit up on the coffin of slumber, and with a soft sound, the coffin that had been sealed for many years finally opened. Yuqingru and Yuju were also a bit nervous, looking intently at the coffin, for auras rushed out from the coffin, and Lin Moyu's expression suddenly changed. With a wave of his hand, he directly lifted the coffin lid. Yuju covered her mouth, her eyes full of disbelief. Yuqingru was equally shocked.
"How could this be?"
The coffin was empty, with no sign of Ning Yi and the others. It wasn't completely empty. There was a square stone inside, On the four sides of the stone, for patterns were carved, which Lin Moyu immediately recognized as representing Ning Yi and the others. Lin Moyu's expression became extremely solemn, and he remained silent. At this moment, his mind was racing, countless memories and thoughts flooding from the depths of his soul, considering all possibilities, yet finding no clues. Ning Yi and the others were placed into the coffin of slumber by his own hands. The coffin of slumber had always been in his soul world, never leaving. His soul had always watched over the coffin of slumber, along with the world tree and the dragon soul crystal. No one could have tampered with the coffin of slumber. If someone had, that person would be unimaginably powerful. Lin Moyu immediately thought of the elder in the green robe from the Origin Secret Realm. In his memory, if anyone had the ability to take Ning Yi and the others without his noticing, there were only two people. One was the elder in the green robe from the Origin Secret Realm. The other was the mysterious figure who had said to him,
"Meeting 3 times means we are fated."
Apart from these two, there was no one else. Lin Moyu immediately ruled out the mysterious figure from the land of the ancestral water. They had never met, only having a fated encounter. It made no sense for that person to secretly open the coffin of slumber. It would be meaningless. So the only one capable and likely to do this was the elder in the green robe from the Origin Secret Realm. This existence, whose name could not even be mentioned, why did he do this? Lin Moyu's mind was in turmoil, unable to figure it out.
Why? If it was really him, why did he do this?
Unable to find any reason, Lin Moyu could only look at the only item in the coffin, a stone slightly larger than a fist. The stone was square, with the images of Ning Yi and the others carved on its four sides. With just a few strokes, the carvings were lifelike and vivid. This was not just a matter of carving skill. It involved the soul. Indeed, each side contained a wisp of their souls, which was why the coffin of slumber always had their presence. If not for this, Lin Moyu might have discovered it earlier. The top and bottom of the stone were also engraved with two patterns.
Dao patterns.
Lin Moyu immediately recognized them as Dao patterns. The Dao patterns looked simple but contained profound Dao rhythms, exuding nobility. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and a wisp of soul power entered the stone. The Dao patterns were activated, and in the next second, an indescribable aura burst from the stone. This aura carried a supreme will, instantly sweeping through the entire rule world. Everything in the rule world stopped functioning. Time in the rule world came to a halt. The entire rule world fell silent. In the bone hell at the bottom, everything stopped moving, the flames ceased to erupt, and the rivers of hellfire stopped flowing. The stars in the great world at the top also froze, their light no longer shining. Countless living beings lost all movement. Yuqingru and Yuju beside Lin Moyu were frozen in place, unable to move. The other spell stars were the same, no longer rotating. Infinite Fusion seemed to have some movement but became incredibly slow, countless times slower than usual. The world tree stopped swaying, and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal froze in place. Only Lin Moyu remained unaffected, allowing him to sense everything happening in his rule world. Just the remaining two Dao patterns and a will could bring his rule world to a complete halt. This power was beyond his imagination. A small shadow projected from the Dao patterns, quickly solidifying into the figure of the elder in the green robe.
It really is him.
As Lin Moyu had guessed, it was indeed the elder from the Origin Secret Realm. The one who gave him the origin spell, the one whom Antares dared not mention by name, the one who took the small world from the great world. The one who took Ning Yi and the others from the coffin of slumber without his noticing and left this stone. This was a true powerhouse, far stronger than the mysterious master. The elder in the green robe spoke kindly.
You have finally reached the Celestial Lord realm.
Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. This meant the elder knew he would defy fate for Ning Yi and the others once he reached the Celestial Lord realm. Lin Moyu tried to remain calm.
You knew?
The elder in the green robe looked at Lin Moyu.
There are few things in this world that can be hidden from me.
Lin Moyu took a deep breath and asked softly,
Why did you do this?
The elder in the green robe replied frankly,
To give you some motivation. If you want to see them, then work hard to improve yourself.
Lin Moyu frowned. The elder's words implied that Ning Yi and the others were still alive and safe. Considering the elder's abilities, if he could defy fate for the four of them, then the elder could do even more. With just a flick of his finger, the elder could change the fate of Ning Yi and the others. At this moment, the elder's figure blurred, and another figure appeared beside him, an old lady. The old lady looked as kind as the elder, with a noble presence. The old lady scrutinized Lin Moyu, making him feel a bit uneasy, like a son-in-law being evaluated by his mother-in-law. Lin Moyu quickly bowed.
Greetings, senior.
The old lady nodded.
You are the husband of those four girls?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, I am.
The old lady frowned.
I have a message for you. If you don't meet my requirements, don't even think about seeing those four girls.
After saying this, the old lady disappeared, leaving naturally. Lin Moyu was left bewildered. The old lady's tone didn't match her kind expression. She looked kind but spoke so directly. The elder in the green robe chuckled.
Don't mind her. She is my Tao companion and has a bit of a temper. The four girls have been taken as her disciples. Whether you can see them again depends on you.
Lin Moyu felt 1,000 complaints in his heart. If you wanted to take disciples, just do it. Why take them from my coffin of slumber? But there was nothing he could do now. Knowing that Ning Yi and the others were safe, he no longer had to worry. Changing the topic, he asked,
May I ask, Senior, how are my teachers? When will Antares be able to come out?
2488 2488. Chapter 2488. If you want to see them, hurry up and cultivate. Lin Moyu suddenly stopped asking about Ning Yi and the others and began to inquire about Bai Yuan and Antares. Since the other party said that there were few things in the world that could be hidden from him, then he must know what Lin Moyu was asking about. The smile of the old man in the green robe seemed even more pronounced than before, and his gaze carried a kind of elder's appreciation for a junior. His calm voice slowly sounded.
The great Tao is impartial. The more you want, the more you have to give. Many answers need to be found by oneself. Even if I tell you, will it necessarily be true?
Lin Moyu said.
I will look for them, but I still want to ask. As long as you say it, I will believe it.
The old man in the green robe asked.
Are they that important to you?
Lin Moyu nodded slightly.
You should know. Ha ha.
The old man in the green robe laughed out loud.
You are just a heavenly sovereign. Being so persistent is of no use.
Lin Moyu's spirit was shaken.
I understand.
The old man seemed very satisfied with Lin Moyu's answer.
It's good that you understand. If you don't want to be a pawn, you must find a way to become the one who plays the game.
As soon as he finished speaking, the old lady who had just left reappeared, this time with a bit of impatience.
What pawn and game player? Why waste so many words? My 6-phase array is still missing 2 disciples. I'll take these 2 girls too.
Lin Moyu's face changed drastically.
You wouldn't.
But he was still a step too late. The old lady's projection disappeared, and the old man in the green robe also vanished. The Tao patterns on the stone simultaneously changed, and the patterns at the top and bottom turned into the images of Yu Qingru and Yuzhu. Lin Moyu turned his head and saw that Yu Qingru and Yuzhu were already gone. 6-phase array. 2 disciples. This was not taking disciples. It was clearly a forceful abduction. The old lady's strength was too terrifying. She took people away in Lin Moyu's soul world, and he had no way to stop her. This unimaginable ability made Lin Moyu feel powerless. Even when facing the king of the realm sea, he had never felt this way. Lin Moyu believed in his intuition. The old man in the green robe was even more terrifying than the king of the realm sea.
Who exactly are you, and why did you take them away? Is it really as you said to give me some motivation to cultivate faster? What use is it to you if I cultivate faster?
Their realms were immeasurable. It was impossible for Lin Moyu to reach their level in a short time. One could even say that they could crush him to death with just a wisp of soul power. Vaguely, Lin Moyu felt that there was a grand scheme behind the old man in the green robe, a scheme so large it was beyond imagination. And he might be a rather important pawn in this scheme. The old man's words implied that he hoped Lin Moyu could leap out of the chessboard and become the one who plays the game, rather than being an important pawn. After all, as the game changes, no matter how important a pawn is, it can still be discarded. Apart from this, Lin Moyu couldn't think of any other reason. Otherwise, why would such a high and mighty figure pay attention to someone as insignificant as him? Lin Moyu used all his soul power to analyze and confirmed that his wives must be safe. Bai Yuan and Meng Anwen should also be fine, and Antares was probably about to come out. Thinking back now, the few hundred years Antares mentioned might not refer to a few hundred years in the Great World, but a few hundred years in the Realm Sea. This guy must know about the existence of the old man in the green robe. Perhaps being trapped in the small world was the old man's doing.
Such a good actor. I'll skin you and roast dragon meat in the future.
Lin Moyu said viciously. Antares must know a lot but didn't tell him. Lin Moyu reached out and took the stone. As soon as he touched it, time in the rule world suddenly resumed its flow, and everything returned to normal in an instant. Everyone had no sense of the previous time stop, as if nothing had happened. The old man in the green robe had manipulated his rule world silently with just a will. Lin Moyu sighed inwardly.
This is the gap in strength. No means or schemes can make up for it. Teacher Bai's words are indeed true. A bigger fist is the hard truth.
In the face of superior strength, Lin Moyu's only option now was to cultivate diligently. Holding the stone in his hand, he could feel a trace of the souls left behind by the 6 people. Although he couldn't communicate with them through this soul trace, he could feel that all 6 were very safe. Lin Moyu suddenly felt that the souls of Ning Yi, Mu Qianqian, Mo Yun, and Shu Han were stronger than those of Yu Qingru and Yuzhu.
The stronger the soul, the higher the realm. Ning Yi and the others' cultivation realms have already surpassed Qingru and Yuzhu.
Lin Moyu carefully sensed and was sure that the realms of Ning Yi and the others were not much different from his own. The old man in the green robe and his wife took them away and changed their fate against the heavens, removing the shackles of their cultivation talents. Lin Moyu was completely relieved. The old man in the green robe indeed had no malice towards him and genuinely wanted him to cultivate faster. As for the ultimate purpose, perhaps it would be revealed in time. In the Realm Sea, Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign looked at the sea area where the Great World used to be. He witnessed the entire process of the Great World's disappearance, his expression as if he had seen a ghost, until Lin Moyu finished everything and reappeared in the Realm Sea. Seeing that Lin Moyu had become a Heavenly Sovereign, Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign immediately asked,
Why did you harvest the world so soon? You were too impatient. Your Realm Sea world had the chance to become a 7th-tier world. It wouldn't have been too late to harvest it then.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
I didn't harvest it. I just integrated the Realm Sea world into my rule world.
Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign was stunned for a moment and instinctively asked,
Integrated into your rule world?
He didn't understand why Lin Moyu did this. Lin Moyu said,
The King of the Realm Sea taught me. He said this is the correct way to use the Realm Sea world. Harvesting the world is the wrong approach. If the king said it, then it must be right. Just follow his instructions.
Although Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign didn't understand, since it was taught by the King of the Realm Sea, it couldn't be wrong. This old turtle, who had lived for countless years, knew what to ask and what not to ask. He looked at Lin Moyu.
Next, you are going to the Origin Continent, right?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, I must go.
Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign said,
The old turtle will send you there. Come to my shell.
Lin Moyu said,
No rush. Have some wine first, and I'll take care of something.
Saying this, he threw some fine wine to Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign and then dived into the Realm Sea to start fishing. He needed to prepare some first-tier origins. He had promised the heavenly sovereigns in the rule world that if they wanted to leave, he would prepare first-tier origin crystals for them. Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign drank the wine and was not in a hurry. 100 days later, Lin Moyu flew out of the Realm Sea, having prepared enough first-tier origins. Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign was drunk.
Come on up. Thank you.
Lin Moyu didn't hesitate and went straight to Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign's shell. Originally, he wanted to ask Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign for the direction to the origin continent, but now that Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign offered to take him there, it was naturally the best. The Realm Sea was vast and not safe. Anything could happen along the way. With Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign leading the way, it was naturally the best. Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign swam towards the origin continent at a fast speed. Not much slower than Lin Moyu's own flight. 2489. Chapter 2489. Take care of yourself. Waterstop Celestial Lord said.
This place is quite far from the origin continent. It might take a few days to get there.
Lin Moyu asked.
Is it okay for you to leave your own territory?
Waterstop Celestial Lord replied.
It wasn't okay before, but now it doesn't matter.
Lin Moyu seemed to understand the reason.
Is it because of me?
Waterstop Celestial Lord said.
Exactly. You've scared away all the other Sea of Realms worlds, so this area is very peaceful now.
Lin Moyu laughed heartily.
Isn't that great? You can enjoy some leisure time.
Waterstop Celestial Lord said.
Leisure time is nice, but there's no drama to watch. Where are your wives? Why don't you let them out?
Lin Moyu sighed.
They've left. What?
Waterstop Celestial Lord suddenly came to a screeching halt. He turned his long neck 180 degrees, staring at Lin Moyu.
What happened?
Lin Moyu sighed.
They were taken away by a senior.
Waterstop Celestial Lord stared at Lin Moyu, who also looked helpless. After a long while, Waterstop Celestial Lord finally asked.
You can't talk about it.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, I can't.
Waterstop Celestial Lord pondered for a long time before saying in a deep voice.
What is your true identity? Why would you encounter such an existence?
This time, it was Lin Moyu's turn to be surprised.
You know?
Waterstop Celestial Lord nodded.
Old Turtle may not have a high realm, but I have a talent for longevity. I've lived longer than many Tao Lords, and I've seen many things and people. Once, when I was on duty in the palace of the king, I encountered such an existence. Taking people away from your rule world without a sound, without anyone knowing, only such an existence could do it.
At this point, Waterstop Celestial Lord's tone changed.
You don't need to answer. Old Turtle doesn't want to know either. Encountering such an existence, whether it's a blessing or a curse, no one knows. Take care of yourself.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I understand. Thank you for the reminder, Senior.
Waterstop Celestial Lord had lived for a very long time, longer than some Tao Lords. In such a long life, he had encountered many things and knew many secrets. Both of them understood that some things couldn't be said and had to be kept to themselves. Waterstop Celestial Lord no longer spoke about this matter and continued to lead Lin Moyu forward. Deep in the Sea of Realms, a palace floated in the ocean. Most of the palace was submerged underwater, with only the part above the surface towering 100,000 meters high. The palace was incredibly grand, seemingly the center of the entire Sea of Realms. Centered around it, the sky was filled with dark clouds, endless thunder forming a sea of lightning, and the ocean waves surged violently. At this moment, a voice sounded,
General Whale, please make another trip and deliver this to Lin Moyu.
Then an object flew out from the palace, caught by General Whale, who emerged from the dark clouds.
Understood.
General Whale turned and flew through the thick clouds towards the distance. In the palace, the king of the Sea of Realms murmured.
He actually knows that person. It seems the previous gift was too light. What is his true identity? That person hasn't appeared for many years. With that person's emergence, is this world about to undergo a great upheaval again?
The king's voice trembled slightly, as if he had thought of something terrifying. Lin Moyu stood on Waterstop Celestial Lord's turtle shell, riding the waves without any obstacles. Half a day later, Waterstop Celestial Lord left his own territory and entered another Celestial Lord's domain. Lin Moyu felt the difference. Each sea area was governed by different sea clan Celestial Lords, each with a distinct aura. These auras were clearly distinguishable. Waterstop Celestial Lord's domain had a relatively peaceful aura. Although there were world battles, they didn't seem intense. But in the sea area they had now entered, the atmosphere was filled with an indescribable sense of oppression. Waterstop Celestial Lord smiled faintly.
The guy here is called Eight-Legged Celestial Lord, very belligerent. So he actively promotes battles between Sea of Realms worlds. Any world entering this sea area can only fight its way out. There's no other way.
Lin Moyu asked curiously.
Doesn't this violate the rules?
Waterstop Celestial Lord laughed heartily.
Except for a few major rules set by the king, we decide the rest ourselves. We are the overseers, not just spectators. Old Turtle is just too lazy to manage. Look, those two worlds are about to collide and fight soon.
Lin Moyu looked over and indeed saw two Sea of Realms worlds about to collide, likely to start fighting in 2 or 3 days. Above the Sea of Realms worlds, two Celestial Lords seemed ready to fight at any moment. Both Sea of Realms worlds were only 4th level, without even a single Celestial Lord. In Lin Moyu's eyes, such worlds were pitifully weak, and their battles were not worth watching. Waterstop Celestial Lord said,
Child's play, not interesting. But that guy Eight-Legged Celestial Lord enjoys watching. Probably already prepared snacks to watch the show.
Lin Moyu glanced over and indeed saw a huge figure looming outside the two worlds. As a huge wave rose, Lin Moyu saw Eight-Legged Celestial Lord's appearance. He looked like a giant octopus with 8 legs, each covered with countless suckers. Interestingly, each sucker had many small fish attached to it. These small fish were Eight-Legged Celestial Lord's snacks, and he seemed to be living a leisurely life, eating snacks while watching the show. Waterstop Celestial Lord laughed.
See, that guy just has this hobby, eating snacks while watching others fight.
He even greeted Eight-Legged Celestial Lord, who extended a leg in response. He didn't come over, as watching the show was more important. Waterstop Celestial Lord continued forward, gradually leaving the two soon-to-be fighting worlds behind. In Eight-Legged Celestial Lord's domain, Lin Moyu saw some other Sea of Realms worlds. These worlds were also converging and would soon engage in battles. Compared to the previous sea area, the battles here were indeed more frequent. Soon, they entered another overseer's domain. The sky seemed even gloomier, with fierce winds howling and huge waves rising. Waterstop Celestial Lord rode the waves, and all the giant waves parted before him, leaving calm waters in his wake. In this sea area, there were also some Sea of Realms worlds, but they couldn't control their direction in the waves and could only drift with the current. Waterstop Celestial Lord explained,
This sea area is governed by a lazy guy. Unlike Eight-Legged Celestial Lord, he dislikes seeing world battles and doesn't like anyone coming out of the Sea of Realms worlds. So he constantly stirs up huge waves, making it impossible for any Sea of Realms world to control its direction, forcing them to leave. This guy is so lazy that he doesn't even want to recommend people for the Sea of Realms decree. He often just randomly recommends someone, regardless of life or death.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. Each overseer seemed to have their own temperament. Using his undead eyes to search, he couldn't find the overseer's presence. Waterstop Celestial Lord said,
No need to look. That guy is probably hiding somewhere sleeping.
Lin Moyu nodded, knowing it had nothing to do with him. At this moment, Waterstop Celestial Lord exclaimed,
There's something good.
He suddenly dove into the sea, taking Lin Moyu with him. 2490. Chapter 2490. the beginning and end of the technological cultivation path. In different sea regions, even the waters of the Sea of Realms differ. The waters of this sea region emitted a faint blue glow. According to Waterstop Celestial Lord, the closer one gets to the origin continent, the bluer the waters of the Sea of Realms become. Soon, a cluster of fluorescent light appeared in Lin Moyu's sight. This was the good thing Waterstop Celestial Lord had mentioned. The source of the fluorescent light was a metallic sphere, emitting a faint glow and a special aura, different from the treasures Lin Moyu had encountered before. Waterstop Celestial Lord quickly swam over. A suction force emerged, directly pulling the metallic sphere into Lin Moyu's hand. The metallic sphere felt cool to the touch. Lin Moyu asked,
"A technological treasure?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord nodded.
"Yes, it's a technological treasure, and it's a Celestial Lord-level technological treasure that hasn't been damaged much."
Lin Moyu asked,
"What is its use?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord rolled his eyes.
"How would I know? You're the one holding the treasure, not me."
Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh.
"I thought you knew everything." "Cut the flattery. If you want to know, figure it out yourself."
Waterstop Celestial Lord's tone carried a hint of disdain, as if saying,
"With your level of cultivation, you're far from flattering me."
In the past 10+ years of fishing in the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu hadn't encountered a single treasure. He had thought that despite the many opportunities in the Sea of Realms, he hadn't encountered any. Unexpectedly, he encountered one now. Using his soul to communicate with the treasure, Lin Moyu immediately understood its purpose. This technological treasure was called a
B-Core.
one of the core components of a Tao Lord-level battleship. The Tao Lord-level battleship had a total of 100 identical B-Cores, forming the control center of the battleship. The battleship's appearance resembled a giant bee, hence its name. Lin Moyu suddenly thought of the battleships in the Great World, which also seemed to have some technological influences, likely influenced by similar sources.
The human emperor has integrated a technological treasure. I wonder if this B-Core can be of use to him. When I reach the origin continent, I'll give the B-Core to the human emperor to try. It might be useful.
As the Great World's origin continued to strengthen, even after integrating into the rule world, its evolution continued. The Great World was expanding, but the human emperor's control area hadn't grown much due to limited power. Gradually, the human star regions were surpassing the human emperor's control area. Lin Moyu had thought about helping the human emperor increase his power, but it wasn't easy. He didn't understand the cultivation methods of technological treasures. Waterstop Celestial Lord asked,
"So, have you figured it out?"
Lin Moyu nodded.
"More or less. This B-Core is part of a Tao Lord-level battleship."
Waterstop Celestial Lord chuckled.
"Part of a Tao Lord-level battleship? You're quite lucky. If you take it to the Lu Feng Merchant Association, you could sell it for a good price. Technological treasures aren't cheap."
Lin Moyu asked,
"Are technological treasures rare?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord replied,
"They used to be common, but now they're rare. The cultivation methods of technological treasures were once very popular, causing quite a stir, but later they declined."
Lin Moyu thought about Waterstop Celestial Lord's age and figured he must know something, so he asked,
"Can you tell me about it?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord said,
"I don't know much, but since we're idle, I'll tell you what I know. The cultivation methods of technological treasures first appeared in a Sea of Realms world. There was a Sea of Realms world different from others. During its evolution, a unique cultivation method emerged. The Celestial Lord of that world applied this cultivation method to himself and won many world battles. Eventually, he successfully elevated his world to the 7th level and became a Tao Lord. After that, he returned to the origin continent and founded a sect, spreading the cultivation methods of technological treasures. Later, the sect expanded continuously, and the Tao Lord's realm kept increasing, becoming more and more arrogant. One day, he offended someone he shouldn't have, and the sect was destroyed. The ancestor escaped with his fleet to the Sea of Realms. But the pursuit didn't stop. They fled and eventually disappeared in the Sea of Realms. Maybe they found a new place to settle, or maybe they were destroyed. The cultivation methods of technological treasures still exist on the origin continent, but they are not mainstream, only side branches.
Waterstop Celestial Lord finished recounting what he knew about the rise and fall of the technological cultivation path, and Lin Moyu listened attentively. Lin Moyu thought of the origin realm and felt that the root of everything should be there. Lin Moyu asked,
"Do you know where the origin realm came from?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord shook his head.
"I don't know. I only know that the origin realm comes from a very mysterious place, accessible only to Dao Lords. Even among Dao Lords, not everyone is qualified to enter. There are only two ways to obtain an origin realm: either have a powerful Dao Lord in your family or buy it from someone else."
No wonder everyone who comes to the Sea of Realms for world battles has a background, either backed by a powerful Dao Lord or with substantial financial resources. Ordinary cultivators have almost no chance of participating in world battles. The two continued chatting as they crossed one sea region after another. The waters of the Sea of Realms gradually turned bluer, and the dark clouds in the sky became sparser. 3 days later, they occasionally saw bright light piercing through the thin clouds, shining on the blue sea. The waves were much calmer here. The closer they got to the origin continent, the calmer the sea became. They were approaching the southern continent of the origin continent, where the human population was the largest. The origin continent was vast, and just the southern continent alone was so large that most cultivators couldn't traverse it in their lifetime. Along the way, Waterstop Celestial Lord and Lin Moyu discussed some matters to be aware of on the origin continent. Lin Moyu estimated that the southern continent alone was equivalent to an area of 100,000 light-years in the Great World. Moreover, space gates couldn't be used here, and speed was restricted by the Great Way's rules. Even at full speed, it would take a Celestial Lord at least 100 years to fly from one end of the southern continent to the other, and they couldn't encounter any incidents along the way. The southern continent wasn't safe and had many dangers. Some places that were safe today might not be safe tomorrow. The dark clouds were almost gone, and the sky was bright. Waterstop Celestial Lord looked ahead and said,
"We're almost at the origin continent. You should soon see the fish people."
Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback.
"Fish people? There are fish people on the origin continent?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord chuckled.
"What's so strange about that? You know the uses of the fish in the Sea of Realms. Those fish people catch fish, some for themselves and some to sell."
Lin Moyu asked curiously,
"If they want fish, can't the Celestial Lords catch some themselves?"
Waterstop Celestial Lord replied,
"There are rules. Celestial Lords who don't participate in world battles aren't allowed to fish in the Sea of Realms. Even those who do participate can't fish indiscriminately."
He rolled his eyes at Lin Moyu.
"You weren't a Celestial Lord back then, so you weren't restricted by the rules."
Lin Moyu finally understood. After he became a Celestial Lord, Waterstop Celestial Lord turned a blind eye, as rules were flexible. Lin Moyu finally saw the so-called fish people. Several human cultivators at the Transcendent Realm, each holding a fish spear, fishing in the Sea of Realms from a special small boat. Above them, a supreme being followed, ready to rescue them at any moment. After all, if a Transcendent Realm cultivator fell into the Sea of Realms, they could easily die if they were unlucky. Lin Moyu was amazed by their fish spears. He had seen such spears before. The Ghost Clan and Luoshin's parents had used them, identical to these. 2491 2491. Chapter 2491. Giving face to the Elder in the Green Robe. This sea region is not far from the origin continent and has already left the area of world battles. Here, there is a small sect called the Sea Patrol Sect. The sect is not large, and there are not many strong individuals. Fishing is their main occupation. The disciples of the sect fish while cultivating, selling the caught fish to cultivators on the origin continent in exchange for various resources. In addition, the Sea Patrol sect also sells a type of fish spear. This fish spear is very peculiar. It can automatically seek out fish schools in the Sea of Realms, pierce through the barriers of Sea of Realms worlds, and even repair those barriers. Sometimes, world masters come to buy these fish spears so that the cultivators in their worlds can fish within their own worlds. It is well known that the fish in the Sea of Realms can accelerate cultivation speed. In the ups and downs of world battles, many fish spears have fallen into the Sea of Realms, becoming ownerless items. Lin Moyu finally understood where the fish spears of the Ghost Clan and Luo Shintian came from. Waterstop Celestial Lord said,
Actually, there are quite a few such fish spears in the Sea of Realms, and many have fallen into various Sea of Realms worlds. The Sea Patrol sect is not the only one selling fish spears. Many other sects and forces are also selling them.
The southern continent is vast, with countless islands along the coastline and numerous forces, making it impossible to count. These sects all engage in similar businesses, fishing and selling fish. For the arrival of Waterstop Celestial Lord, the fishers turned a blind eye, even avoiding him from afar. A supreme being floating in the air commanded the transcendent realm disciples not to approach. He knew very well the identity of Waterstop Celestial Lord, a celestial lord from the Sea Clan, someone they could not afford to provoke. However, when he saw Lin Moyu standing on Waterstop Celestial Lord's back, the supreme being was visibly shocked. But they did not dare to look too long. It was very impolite for a supreme being to stare at a celestial lord for a long time and might even incur the celestial lord's wrath. Waterstop Celestial Lord took Lin Moyu past one island after another. There were many houses on the islands, as well as imposing palaces. Lin Moyu felt a different aura, one belonging to the origin continent. Finally, Lin Moyu saw the coastline in the distance. They were almost there. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed.
Why is General Whale there?
Waterstop Celestial Lord also saw it and exclaimed,
Yes, why is General Whale here?
In the sky above the coastline, General Whale floated there. In the distance, some people were watching from afar but did not dare to approach. General Whale had already restrained his aura, but the power of a Tao Lord was still not something supreme beings could approach. The mere pressure from a Tao Lord was enough to crush the souls of supreme beings. Waterstop Celestial Lord accelerated and greeted,
General Whale, why have you come? The king sent me to deliver something.
General Whale was quite polite to Waterstop Celestial Lord. In terms of age, Waterstop Celestial Lord was still his senior. Waterstop Celestial Lord glanced at Lin Moyu.
It's for this kid, right? That's right.
General Whale opened his mouth and spat out an item, a box, which fell directly into Lin Moyu's hands. Lin Moyu received the box and bowed to General Whale.
Thank you, General Whale. Please convey my message to the king that Lin Moyu will keep his promise.
General Whale nodded.
The item has been delivered. I will take my leave.
After speaking, he flew towards the Sea of Realms, his speed seemingly slow but actually fast, disappearing into the horizon in the blink of an eye. Lin Moyu found it a bit strange.
Why send me something again?
Waterstop Celestial Lord squinted his eyes.
It seems the king sensed that person had been here.
An existence like the King of the Sea of Realms would not do anything meaningless. Everything has a cause, and Waterstop Celestial Lord's words made Lin Moyu understand the reason. It was precisely because of the arrival of the Elder in the green robe that the King of the Sea of Realms sent another gift. This gift was not actually for himself but for the Elder in the green robe. It must be quite significant. Lin Moyu did not immediately check the contents. This was no longer the Sea of Realms, and there were many eyes around. Lin Moyu naturally knew the principle of not revealing one's wealth. Waterstop Celestial Lord brought Lin Moyu to the shore.
From here on, you must walk your own path.
Lin Moyu said,
Thank you. I will visit you if I have the chance.
Waterstop Celestial Lord snorted.
When you come, remember to bring good wine.
Lin Moyu laughed heartily and took out a storage jade stone.
Here is enough wine to last you a while.
Water-stopped Celestial Lord took the jade stone and scanned it, his eyes immediately lighting up. The jade stone was filled with fine wine, 1,000,000 jars in total, each jar weighing 10,000 caddies. Seeing so much fine wine right in front of him, he was naturally excited, but he maintained a calm exterior.
Not bad, not bad. You are quite considerate. It was worth escorting you all the way. All right, I'll drink this wine first. Remember to bring more next time.
Lin Moyu laughed.
All right, I'll bring more next time.
Water-stopped Celestial Lord left, diving into the water and leaving from the seabed. Lin Moyu officially set foot on the land of the origin continent. The moment he stepped on the land, a peculiar aura rose from his feet, entering his body and spreading throughout his limbs and bones. At the same time, an invisible force surged from all directions, making his connection with the origin continent seem more intimate and harmonious. Strictly speaking, he was not a native of the origin continent. He was born and raised in the Sea of Realms world. Setting foot on the origin continent for the first time, the continent naturally imprinted a new mark on him. Every world has its own instinctive consciousness, whether it's a small world, a large world, or the origin continent. During this process, Lin Moyu felt the grandeur of the origin continent, a powerful world with countless strong beings on its vast land. Moments later, Lin Moyu had fully adapted to the aura of the origin continent and looked into the distance. Activating his undead eyes, the soul flames of all living beings clearly appeared before him. Some supreme beings were still in the distance, not approaching. When Lin Moyu's gaze swept over them, they all felt as if they had been completely seen through by him. Someone made eye contact with Lin Moyu, and blood immediately flowed from their eyes as they hurriedly retreated. Lin Moyu did not pay attention to them. The people here were either scattered cultivators or supreme beings of the Sea Patrol sect. He had no intention of getting involved with the Sea Patrol sect. He had already learned some information about the origin continent from Waterstop Celestial Lord and knew what he needed to do. Lin Moyu slowly ascended into the sky, his undead eyes looking further into the distance. Finally, he saw a place where countless soul flames gathered.
That should be it.
Lin Moyu found his direction, spread his undead wings, and surged his soul power into them. In an instant, Lin Moyu turned into a flash of lightning, flying towards the distance. The surrounding supreme beings were startled by Lin Moyu's speed.
What incredible speed! His speed is faster than that of an average celestial lord. First, a Dao lord from the Sea clan awaited him, then a celestial lord personally escorted him. Who exactly is this person? From his appearance, he seems to be from a major family or sect. He looks very young, yet he has already reached the celestial lord realm. Only such major forces can cultivate such geniuses.
Several supreme beings watched Lin Moyu's departing figure, their eyes filled with envy. They could see that Lin Moyu was very young and had already reached the celestial lord realm. Such young celestial lords generally only appeared in major forces. 2492 2492. Chapter 2492. This world is uneven. In Linhai City, huge characters flickered in the sky. From a great distance, one could see these three large characters. From beyond the three characters, rays of light extended in all directions, spreading out for hundreds of miles. These avenues of light were used to guide visitors from all directions, showcasing the extraordinary atmosphere of Linhai City. Many people arrived stepping on the rays of light and only descended after approaching the city. Lin Moyu noticed that the rays of light had different levels. Different colors of light represented different statuses. There were 4 types of light: red, red mixed with purple, purple, and purple mixed with gold. Red light corresponded to the Supreme Realm. Red mixed with purple light corresponded to the Peak Supreme. Purple and purple mixed with gold light corresponded to the Heavenly Sovereign and Peak Heavenly Sovereign. Everyone heading to Linhai City entered the city based on their realm and cultivation level, stepping on different rays of light. Those who hadn't reached the Supreme Realm didn't even qualify to step on the rays of light and could only enter the city from the ground. These people were the majority, including divine sovereigns, other shore realm cultivators, and saint sovereigns. The rays of light, though beautiful, actually indicated a clear distinction and strict hierarchy. In the origin continent, the biggest rule was to see whose fist was the biggest. Apart from that, everything else was illusory. Lin Moyu retracted his undead wings and stepped onto the purple light. The purple light emitted a gentle glow, enveloping him and sending him into the city. On the rays of light, most were supremes with few heavenly sovereigns. Many people on the ground looked up at the people on the rays of light with envy, especially at the heavenly sovereigns, a realm everyone dreamed of reaching. Tianlong once said that heavenly sovereigns were neither too good nor too bad on the origin continent. At that time, Lin Moyu thought that the origin continent was full of heavenly sovereigns and supremes were as common as dogs. Later, he realized that this was not the case. Heavenly sovereigns were actually a decent realm. In some small forces, heavenly sovereigns were already considered top combat power. Even in a sect like the Falling Purple sect, heavenly sovereigns were at the elder level. Lin Moyu saw the envious eyes of the divine sovereigns and other shore realm cultivators on the ground. He could tell that even on the origin continent, most cultivators couldn't reach the heavenly sovereign realm, and even reaching the supreme realm was difficult. Not far away, several heavenly sovereigns on the purple rays of light also looked curiously at Lin Moyu. They could tell that Lin Moyu was young, and reaching the heavenly sovereign realm at such a young age indicated extraordinary talent. Lin Moyu nodded to them as a greeting. The rays of light carried Lin Moyu into the city, flying over hundreds of miles. Upon entering the city, Lin Moyu immediately felt a difference. A thick and powerful origin aura hit him, making him slightly surprised.
This is the origin spirit vein.
Waterstop Heavenly Sovereign had told him that every city on the origin continent was built on an origin spirit vein. Using the power of the origin spirit vein, the city was continuously supplied with origin power. The city also had many formations set up, and cultivating within these formations was faster than elsewhere. Of course, using the formations came at a cost. Lin Moyu, entering the origin continent for the first time and stepping into an origin continent city for the first time, still had a trace of curiosity in his eyes. He walked on the wide streets, looking at the buildings on both sides. The architectural style of the city was indeed very different from that of the Great World. The city was bustling, with people coming and going. From their conversations, Lin Moyu learned that they were heading to the northern market of the city. The market was the trading center of the city, where all kinds of transactions took place, and the city's managers also profited from it. After wandering around the city for half a day, Lin Moyu had a good understanding of Linhai City. Although the style was different, there were many similarities with the ancient times of the Great World. There were also inns, hotels, various shops, and various cultivation places. Lin Moyu did not go to the market immediately. He first found an inn named Linhai and checked in. The price of Linhai Inn was not expensive. One ordinary first-tier origin crystal could pay for 10 days. If one wanted a better room, the price would go up. Origin crystals were the currency on the origin continent, the real hard currency. No matter what you wanted to buy, you needed origin crystals. An ordinary first-tier origin crystal was not the lowest denomination. There were also various scattered origin crystals, which were not classified into tiers and had lower value. However, for low-realm cultivators, these scattered origin crystals were the most common trading currency. Origin crystals were divided into ordinary, fine, and world-class. The exchange ratio between fine and ordinary was 1 to 10. 10 ordinary origin crystals could be exchanged for 1 fine origin crystal of the same tier. The exchange ratio between world-class and fine was 1 to 100. At least 100 fine origin crystals were needed to exchange for 1 world-class origin crystal. This was just the surface price. In reality, it was difficult to exchange, and world-class origin crystals were in a state of having a price but no market. Lin Moyu rented a small courtyard, which was more expensive than an ordinary room, costing 1 ordinary first-tier origin crystal per day, 10 times the price. Lin Moyu directly paid 10 ordinary first-tier origin crystals, renting it for 10 days. The reason he chose this kind of courtyard was mainly because it came with a formation. Once the formation was activated, it could provide origin power to speed up cultivation and isolate external disturbances. Without the owner's permission, no one could enter. The courtyard was not large, with a diameter of about 10 meters. After entering, Lin Moyu immediately activated the formation. The formation formed beautiful patterns on the ground, and a large amount of origin power emerged from the formation, quickly spreading throughout the courtyard. Lin Moyu felt that cultivating in the courtyard could speed up cultivation by about twice. This kind of acceleration was not like a time formation and would not affect the comprehension of the Great Tao laws. After activating the formation, Lin Moyu's rule world emerged behind him, and in the next second, he disappeared from the courtyard, entering his rule world. Since integrating the Great World into the rule world, the time flow in the Great World had become the same as that of the origin continent. The same amount of time passed in both the outside world and the Great World. The rule world was affected by the Great Tao laws of the origin continent, greatly reducing the effect of the time formation. Moreover, using the time formation for cultivation would affect the comprehension of the laws, making it not worth the cost. This change could only be adapted to and could not be altered at the moment. Lin Moyu first looked at the world tree. On the world tree, spiritual flowers were blooming, and world fruits were maturing. In 2 more days, the first batch of spiritual flowers and fruits would fully mature, allowing another batch of Dragon Knight Legion commanders to awaken their intelligence and possess rule worlds. Lin Moyu took a step and arrived at the central temple. In the central temple, the human emperor and others had already received the notification and were waiting for Lin Moyu to arrive. Many people had come this time, almost all the supremes from the great world, including 3 heavenly sovereigns. Seeing Lin Moyu, everyone stood up and saluted. Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony, directly taking his seat and slowly saying,
I have arrived at the origin continent, currently in a city called Linhai City. Now you can make your choice, whether to stay here or go to the origin continent. After this, the next opportunity to leave will be when I establish the passage, and the time for that is uncertain. It could be a few years or hundreds of years. Now start making your choices.
2493 2493. Chapter 2493. The Second Gift. Lin Moyu had already given all the information he knew about the origin continent to the human emperor. They had also seen information about the origin continent through the human emperor network. What Lin Moyu knew, they basically all knew as well. Now Lin Moyu laid out the choice before them, not forcing anything, and not giving any additional opinions. This was a difficult choice. They had long been accustomed to life in the great world, but also yearned for a stronger world. Those who could cultivate to the supreme being realm all had an extreme desire for power, with very firm hearts for seeking the Tao. They pursued strength and power. However, leaving the great world and their homeland made them somewhat reluctant. In fact, they were also very clear that Lin Moyu had the ability to not let them leave and keep them in the great world forever. If Lin Moyu was ruthless enough, he could even turn them into his slaves. But Lin Moyu didn't do that. His mind was broad enough. Finally, the 3 celestial lords made their choice. They chose to leave. With them taking the lead, more and more supreme beings made their choices. Those who chose to leave were basically all young supreme beings. The older generation of supreme beings, like Supreme Lord Hao and others, did not choose to leave. In the end, a total of 48 supreme beings decided to leave, including the 3 celestial lords. Compared to the number of supreme beings in the great world, most people still chose to stay. Lin Moyu nodded slightly.
Good, since you've decided, then take the oath. Swear a soul oath not to reveal anything about the great world, including your origins and backgrounds.
This was something Lin Moyu had told them early on. If they wanted to leave, they had to swear a soul oath. In the future, no matter what happened to them outside, it would not be connected to the great world. Now was not the future. Lin Moyu had just arrived on the origin continent and had not yet established a firm foothold. There could be no slip-ups. Although some people felt Lin Moyu was being too cautious, they still took the oath. Lin Moyu waved his hand. and hundreds of ordinary first-level origin crystals flew out.
These are ordinary first-level origin crystals, 10 for each person.
Lin Moyu had prepared 10 ordinary first-level origin crystals for each person. As for the uses of the origin crystals, it was all written in the materials about the origin continent, and they were all fully aware.
Thank you, World Master.
Everyone received the origin crystals and bowed to Lin Moyu at the same time. Lin Moyu nodded.
All right, prepare yourselves. If you have anything to take care of at home, take care of it. In one day, I'll find a suitable place to let you out.
He was currently in Coastal City, so naturally he couldn't let them out here. The central divine temple gradually became quiet again, with everyone having left except for Supreme Lord Hao, Supreme Lord Tian, and the Human Emperor. At this time, Lin Moyu took out the B-Core.
Human Emperor, is this thing useful to you?
The Human Emperor took the B-Core and examined it carefully. His expression changed from calm to shocked.
It's useful. In the artifact I merged with, there seems to be a similar space.
Lin Moyu had seen the Human Emperor's true form before. It was a huge hollow sphere. Inside the sphere were many instruments that Lin Moyu didn't recognize at all. When he saw it at the time, it gave Lin Moyu a sense of shock. But what each instrument did, only the Human Emperor himself knew. Lin Moyu smiled.
That's good if it's useful.
The Human Emperor held the B-Core.
I'll go try it out first.
Lin Moyu waved his hand.
Go ahead.
After the Human Emperor left, Supreme Lord Tian spoke.
World Master, actually we don't necessarily have to let them leave. We could perhaps establish our own sect on the origin continent.
Supreme Lord Hao also hesitated.
And with so many people leaving, won't it affect the great world?
Lin Moyu smiled.
There will be some impact, more or less, but the great world's origin is stronger than before, so it can bear this small impact. Moreover, if their hearts are not here anymore, keeping them would be useless. As for establishing our own sect, I've thought about it too, but we need origin spirit veins, which we can't do for now. Do you two elders know why I'm allowing them to leave freely, and why I insist on them taking a soul oath?
Supreme Lord Hao thought for a moment.
Is it because of karma?
Lin Moyu smiled.
Karma is just one reason. The key is that I don't trust them completely. They haven't experienced the most difficult times of the great world. We haven't fought side by side, so I can't fully trust them. If they have the heart, whether there's an oath or not, they will naturally give back if they achieve something in the future. If we truly establish a firm foothold in the future and become strong enough, we can also welcome them back. But for now, I can't fully trust them.
Lin Moyu had considered things thoroughly, thinking for himself while also not restricting others. The incident with Shi Dingtian had happened in the Great World before. As they were talking, Lin Moyu sensed that the Human Emperor's power began to increase dramatically. The Human Emperor's aura almost instantly broke through to half-step Supreme Being, directly stepping into the Supreme Being realm. Lin Moyu smiled.
It seems the B-Core is very useful to the Human Emperor.
Supreme Lord Hao and Supreme Lord Tian both sensed the change in the Human Emperor and showed surprised expressions.
The Human Emperor has broken through.
With the Human Emperor breaking through to Supreme Being, the coverage of the Human Emperor network expanded rapidly, quickly enveloping the entire Human Star region. The next second, the Human Emperor's projection reappeared before Lin Moyu. Bowing to Lin Moyu.
Thank you, World Master.
Lin Moyu smiled.
I've said before not to be so formal. You've done so much for the human race in the past. What I've done is nothing. Now I've just helped you improve your realm a bit. In the future, when there's a chance, I'll let you and Star Elder reincarnate and cultivate again.
The Human Emperor said with some excitement.
I look forward to that day.
The surrounding space distorted, and Star Elder appeared in the central divine temple. He had sensed the change in the Human Emperor and rushed over immediately, blurting out as soon as he arrived.
How did you break through?
The Human Emperor said.
Thanks to the World Master's help.
The two had originally been one, then separated into spirit and flesh, guarding the human race for another 100,000 years. Lin Moyu had immense respect for the two and would do his best to do whatever he could for them. After chatting with them for a while, Lin Moyu left and came to the center of his rule world. He took out the box that the King of the Sea of Realms had General Whale deliver for the second time.
The first time he sent 9 fifth-level world-class origin crystals. That was for the agreement between us, a down payment. This time it's to give face to the Elder in the green robe. He's probably also guessing at my relationship with the Elder in the green robe. The Elder in the green robe is so powerful that even the King of the Sea of Realms has to curry favor with him. It seems that what's sent this time shouldn't be bad either, at least not worse than the previous time.
Lin Moyu opened the box while muttering to himself, and strong auras immediately burst out from inside. Seeing what was in the box, Lin Moyu's eyes showed a shocked expression. Before Lin Moyu could do anything, infinite fusion whooshed straight towards the box. Lin Moyu was quick-eyed and quick-handed, hurriedly stopping it.
Wait, let me look first.
Infinite fusion seemed a bit impatient, circling around Lin Moyu non-stop. Lin Moyu said,
Don't be in such a hurry. I'll give it to you in a moment. Let me see clearly first. If we encounter the same thing in the future, I can find more for you.
Infinite fusion seemed to understand Lin Moyu's meaning and finally calmed down. There was only one thing in the box, an origin crystal. The origin crystal was extremely pure. Judging from the origin power it emitted, this origin crystal had reached the 6th level. Lin Moyu had fused many 6th-level origin crystals before, but the one in his hand was different. This origin crystal was filled with strong spirituality. An origin crystal with spirituality. 2494 2494. Chapter 2494. No wonder it's called the Origin Continent. The 6th-tier origin crystal, and it was a premium-grade origin crystal, already had considerable value. Last time, the King of the Realm Sea gave 9 world-class 5th-tier origin crystals at once. This time, considering the face of the old man in the green robe, the second gift naturally wouldn't be inferior to the previous one. Otherwise, the face of the old man in the green robe wouldn't be worth much. The special thing about this 6th-tier origin crystal was that it had developed spirituality. Once it developed spirituality, its value would increase by thousands or even tens of thousands of times. It could be said that the value of this 6th-tier origin crystal was much higher than that of a world-class 7th-tier origin crystal. As Lin Moyu held it, a consciousness was transmitted over. The King of the Realm Sea was afraid Lin Moyu wouldn't understand its value, so he specially provided an explanation.
Bury the spiritual origin crystal underground, and it can form an origin spirit vein.
To establish a sect on the Origin Continent, one must find an origin spirit vein. Whether or not there is an origin spirit vein is crucial for sects and families. Origin spirit veins are not easy to find. Once they appear, they are inevitably occupied by major forces. However, a spiritual origin crystal can actively form an origin spirit vein. In other words, as long as Lin Moyu finds an uninhabited place and buries it underground, he can form an origin spirit vein in a short time. Then he can build a sect on it and establish a school. Of course, there is another method, which is to directly seize the territory of other sects and take their origin spirit veins. However, all major sects and families will have countermeasures in place. Once the sect is defeated, they will directly detonate the origin spirit vein, making it difficult to truly obtain it. Therefore, a spiritual origin crystal that can evolve into an origin spirit vein will inevitably become a coveted item for all forces once it appears.
It's really a good thing.
Lin Moyu had the idea of establishing a force on the Origin Continent, but after seeing infinite fusion circling around him non-stop, he ultimately decided to give it to infinite fusion.
Here you go.
Although the temptation to establish a sect and start a school was great, it still couldn't compare to infinite fusion. Along the way, infinite fusion had made countless contributions, and Lin Moyu couldn't treat it poorly. Infinite fusion was extremely excited, swallowing the origin crystal in one gulp, and then immediately went back to its throne to digest the origin crystal. Lin Moyu was somewhat amused.
So practical? Not even a word of thanks.
Infinite Fusion cooperatively vibrated, releasing a wisp of chaotic energy that turned into a breeze, blowing on Lin Moyu's face. Lin Moyu sighed helplessly.
All right, I'll take that as your thanks. I hope you can grow stronger.
Infinite Fusion vibrated again, as if saying, just wait and see. Lin Moyu's gaze fell on the box again.
I have to say, the box given by the King of the Realm Sea is also a good thing. Just the material alone is worth a lot.
Before coming to the Origin continent, Lin Moyu had also prepared some Origin crystals, but they were all ordinary grade. He had nearly 1,000 first-tier Origin crystals, over 200 second-tier Origin crystals, and less than 100 third-tier Origin crystals. For an ordinary heavenly sovereign, this was quite a fortune. However, Lin Moyu felt he was very poor. This time, the departure of the supreme heavenly sovereigns from the rule world used up nearly 500 first-tier Origin crystals. Fortunately, there were still 6 world-class 5th-tier Origin crystals given by the King of the Realm Sea the first time. This was a huge fortune. Ordinary small families or sect forces couldn't even produce a single world-class Origin crystal, let alone a 5th-tier world-class Origin crystal. However, unless absolutely necessary, Lin Moyu wouldn't use this fortune. Previously, he needed to prepare for Ningyi and others, but now it seemed unnecessary. After being taken by the old man in the green robe, they obviously wouldn't lack cultivation resources. His own meager possessions were nothing in the eyes of the old man in the green robe. For such a high-level figure, even the crumbs from their fingernails were much stronger than what he had. After doing all this, Lin Moyu didn't go anywhere. He sat in the courtyard, feeling the Origin power spreading up, and comprehended the difference between the Origin power in the Origin continent and that in the Great World. There was an Origin spirit vein under Lin Hai City. This Origin spirit vein had no attributes, which was advantageous because it was suitable for almost all cultivators. But the disadvantage was that it had no additional effects for cultivators with unique attributes. No matter what Great Tao laws one cultivated, the effect in Lin Hai City was the same. However, some Origin spirit veins with special attributes had additional effects for corresponding Great Tao laws. As he gradually comprehended, Lin Moyu began to understand the cultivation path in the Origin continent. Origin power can trigger Great Tao laws. Using Origin power for cultivation can accelerate the comprehension of the Great Tao. Cultivators use Origin power as a bridge to enhance their connection with the Great Tao laws. The stronger the Origin power, the stronger this connection, and naturally, the faster the cultivation speed. Therefore, Origin spirit veins are also divided into different grades. The stronger the spirit vein, the faster the cultivation speed. Without an Origin spirit vein, the cultivation speed would be greatly reduced, and then one would need to use Origin crystals for cultivation. The Origin power in Origin crystals can also serve as a bridge between oneself and the Great Tao. As long as there are enough Origin crystals of sufficient grade, the cultivation speed won't be much slower than with an Origin spirit vein.
Origin crystals can not only be used to fuse spells and break through realms, but also for cultivation. They are also indispensable for refining artifacts and pills. No wonder it's called the Origin continent. Everything is related to Origin.
Lin Moyu had figured out the cultivation rules of the Origin continent, which were indeed different from those of the Great World.
Then let's see what my undying rule is on the Origin continent.
Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the undying rule rose, using the formation in the courtyard to trigger the power of the Great Tao. Immediately, Lin Moyu's whole body trembled, and the Origin power in the courtyard erupted with a tsunami-like sound, echoing through his soul. This sound could only be heard by Lin Moyu. In the dark, Lin Moyu saw an invisible Great Tao. The Great Tao was faintly visible, gray and white intertwined, as if endless power was surging within it.
This is the Great Tao, belonging to the Undying Rule.
With the help of Origin power, Lin Moyu felt the Great Tao belonging to the Undying Rule. At the moment when his consciousness connected with the Great Tao, a stream of enlightenment arose from the depths of his heart. He suddenly understood the relationship between laws, rules, and the Great Tao. All the laws in the Great World come from the Great Tao. The power of the Great Tao covers every corner of the origin continent, including the Realm Sea. The weak power of the Great Tao falls into the Realm Sea world and becomes the rules controlled by the origin of the Realm Sea world. The origin of the Realm Sea world further evolves the rules into weaker laws. The beings in the Realm Sea world first come into contact with laws. Laws are borrowed power, the power evolved from the origin of the world, not one's own power. One's strength depends on how much power one can borrow. Rules are more advanced and can change the laws in a certain area. But the change is limited, and the limit is that it cannot exceed the power given by the Great Tao. Whether it is laws or rules, their essence is the power of the Great Tao and cannot surpass the Great Tao. It is precisely because they have never come into contact with the pure power of the Great Tao that the beings in the Realm Sea world lose the effectiveness of their spells once they leave their world. They need to fuse with origin to adapt to the power of the Great Tao outside the Realm Sea world. The stronger the fused origin, the stronger the adaptability. In other words, if Lin Moyu spells were comprehended on the origin continent from the beginning, there would be no need for origin crystals to reach their current level. 2495, 2495. Chapter 2495. The Blue Family of Coastal City. This day marked Lin Moyu's first day on the origin continent, and it was an extremely fruitful day. Many things can only be understood by experiencing them firsthand. Just listening to others or reading information is not enough. For example, when he took his first step on the origin continent, he came into contact with the aura of the origin continent, received its recognition, and was marked by it. Although the Sea of Realms also belongs to the origin continent, he never received such treatment there. When the supreme beings and celestial lords in the rule world leave, they will all have to go through this process. In the night sky, a bright moon rose, illuminating the earth. The moonlight awakened Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu woke up from his cultivation, looked towards the sky, and saw the large full moon.
This is what Senior Waterstop mentioned as the lunar origin.
Along the way, Waterstop Celestial Lord had told him many things about the origin continent. Waterstop Celestial Lord had lived for many years and had conversed with many celestial lords from the origin continent. He had also set foot on the origin continent himself and knew many things. He almost held nothing back, telling Lin Moyu everything he knew. In the origin continent, there are two extremely special existences. One is the lunar origin, and the other is the solar origin. The lunar and solar origins, just from their appearance, look similar to the sun, moon, and stars in the Great World Galaxy. Many life stars in the Great World have satellites orbiting them, which people call moons, and stars that people call suns. The lunar and solar origins on the origin continent look somewhat similar but are fundamentally different. The lunar and solar origins appear alternately, and one cycle of alternation constitutes a day and night on the origin continent. Whether it's the lunar origin or the solar origin, their positions and shapes do not change. They are both round like a large disk. The difference is that the lunar and solar origins represent the yin and yang forces of the origin. They can be said to be the origins of the origin, the most fundamental forces. It is said that all kinds of attributes of the origin in the origin continent are derived from their evolution. Some even believe that the lunar and solar origins are the true foundations of the origin continent. Waterstop Celestial Lord once said a widely circulated phrase in the origin continent.
The Tao gives birth to one gives birth to two gives birth to three, and three gives birth to all things.
Everything comes from the Tao. The Tao created a hazy world, which is the one. Then the lunar and solar origins appeared in the world, which are the two. Based on them, the three were born. The three are the origin continent, the Sea of Realms, and the heavens and earth. At the same time, the three also have an infinite meaning. Ultimately, this infinite three evolved into all things in the heavens and earth. The Sea of Realms world is just one of the many things born from the three. Whether it's the Sea of Realms world or the living beings in the Sea of Realms world, they are just insignificant, tiny points. Looking at the lunar origin in the sky, various insights arose in Lin Moyu's heart.
Indeed, everything must be seen to be known. Just listening is useless. We are the things evolved from the three, small and weak, but we have a heart that seeks the Tao. Whether it's the three, the two, or the one, they are all born from the Tao. As beings evolved from the Tao, we are naturally meant to pursue the Tao.
At this moment, Lin Moyu felt his realm being infinitely elevated. Streams of the lunar origin fell, entering Lin Moyu's rule world, reaching his soul. The soul felt like it had entered cool water, with unprecedented clarity, and the soul realm continuously elevated. At this moment, Lin Moyu seemed to enter a special state of enlightenment. The soul realm continuously elevated, quickly rising from a low-level celestial lord to a mid-level celestial lord. The jade-like purple soul became more solid, with yin and yang, reality and illusion, merging to form a ball of yin-yang fire, burning brightly in the depths of the soul. The lunar origin was like firewood, adding fuel to the fire in the depths of the soul. Unlike enlightenment in the great world, there was no Tao poison here, only benefits. Lin Moyu felt that he had taken another step closer to the Tao, with the laws he had previously comprehended appearing one by one, and he began to gain new insights. Outside the inn, someone noticed an unusual aura rising, seemingly connected to the lunar origin. However, most people didn't pay much attention, as there were countless people using the lunar origin for cultivation, which was a very common occurrence. Most people couldn't distinguish between normal cultivation and enlightenment unless they saw it up close. But some did notice something unusual. In the city lord's mansion of Coastal City, someone let out a soft exclamation, followed by a heavy voice,
"Someone, come here!"
until the lunar origin retreated, and the bright sunlight once again covered the earth, with the solar origin beginning to rule the heavens and earth. All the aura of the lunar origin was swept away in just a few seconds. Lin Moyu's enlightenment continued. As the lunar and solar origins alternated, Lin Moyu also completed the alternation, directly switching from the lunar origin to the solar origin. The original cool aura suddenly disappeared, followed by a scorching aura sweeping down. In an instant, Lin Moyu's soul was engulfed in flames, burning fiercely. The flames lasted only a moment before Lin Moyu suddenly woke up, ending the enlightenment instantly. Looking at himself with some fear, his soul was covered in wounds, with burn marks all over his body. If he had been half a second or a second later, his soul would have been completely burned to ashes. The soul was like this, and the body was even worse. His clothes were burned, his body charred, with wisps of green smoke rising, carrying the aura of the origin.
The solar origin is so violent, truly terrifying. The lunar and solar origins represent the yin and yang aspects of the origin's power, two extremes, just like my undying Tao, which also has two extremes. I correspond to it with my undying Tao, so I should be able to cultivate it. But the solar origin is too violent. Both the soul and body are hard to bear.
Lin Moyu sighed lightly, knowing he still had a long way to go. The path of cultivation is long and steep, not easy at all. The power of life flowed through his body, healing himself. The burns left by the solar origin were not ordinary injuries, and the healing speed was somewhat slow. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. A breeze blew, carrying away the remaining fragments of his clothes, and he changed into a new set of clothes. Half an hour later, Lin Moyu had fully recovered, once again becoming a young celestial lord. At this moment, there was a sound from the array, someone triggering it outside the courtyard, equivalent to knocking on the door. Lin Moyu deactivated the array, and the courtyard door automatically opened. A middle-aged man in a blue robe appeared at the entrance. The middle-aged man was a celestial lord, with a deep and heavy aura, clearly having been a celestial lord for many years. He looked at Lin Moyu with a seemingly kind smile. Lin Moyu politely asked,
"Senior, is there something you need?"
The middle-aged man smiled.
"I am Lan Haichuan, under the orders of the family head, here to invite you to our residence as a guest."
Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback.
"Who is the family head of Senior Lan?"
Lan Haichuan replied,
"I wonder if you have heard of the Blue family, the rulers of Coastal City."
Lin Moyu found it strange.
"Isn't the ruler of Coastal City the Feng family?"
He had heard from Waterstop Celestial Lord that Coastal City belonged to the Feng family. How did it become the Blue family? Lan Haichuan's smile remained.
You might not have been here for a long time. 130 years ago, the Feng family was destroyed, and Coastal City came under the control of our Blue family.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I see. I wonder what the Blue family head wants with me.
Lan Haichuan smiled.
I am not sure either. I am just following orders. You can ask the family head in person.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
All right, when should I go?
Lan Haichuan handed an invitation to Lin Moyu.
2 days later, the family head will hold a banquet at the residence.
Lin Moyu took the invitation.
Please inform the Blue family head that I will attend on time.
2496, 2496.